Imagine waking up tomorrow morning to discover that every mirror in your house shows your reflection with a 3-second delay. At first, you might dismiss it as a bizarre hallucination, but then you notice something even more disturbing. The delayed reflection sometimes moves differently than you do, making choices you didn't make. As you reach left, your reflection reaches right. When you step back in horror, your reflection steps forward with a knowing smile. Then comes the most chilling realization. You're no longer sure which one is the reflection and which one is you. This unsettling scenario is just the beginning of our journey into the depths of reality-bending paradoxes that challenge everything we think we know about existence, consciousness, and the nature of reality itself. Welcome to the reality fracture paradox, where the boundaries between observer and observed, between cause and effect, between reality and reflection, begin to crumble in ways that will fundamentally shake your understanding of the world. The reality fracture paradox isn't just a thought experiment. It's a gateway into understanding how our most basic assumptions about reality can unravel when examined closely. Consider this. If your reflection is moving independently with a 3-second delay, which version of you is actually responding to which? When you react to your reflection's unexpected movement, are you creating a new timeline that your reflection will follow? Or are you actually responding to a choice your reflection already made 3 seconds ago in some parallel reality? At the Quantum Consciousness Institute in Geneva, Dr. Isabella Reyes and her team have been exploring similar phenomena in their groundbreaking experiments with quantum mirrors. Using specialized equipment that can detect quantum entanglement between photons, they've discovered something extraordinary. The light particles that create our reflections sometimes exhibit behavior that precedes the original movement by microseconds. It's as if the reflection knows what you're going to do before you do it. This leads us to the first major implication of the reality fracture paradox. If our reflections can act independently and even predictively, where does consciousness truly reside? Are we the prime movers of our actions, or are we unknowingly following a script written by our own reflections? The paradox deepens when we consider that each reflection creates infinite sub-reflections in an endless cascade of mirrors facing mirrors. The implications become even more mind-bending when we consider Dr. Reyes's latest findings. Her team has documented cases where the quantum state of photons and reflections shows patterns that can only be explained if information is somehow moving backward through time. This suggests that our reflections might not just be moving independently, they might be sending information back to us from future timelines. Think about that for a moment. Every time you look in a mirror, you might be engaging in a complex temporal dance with future and past versions of yourself, each influencing the other in an endless loop of cause and effect. The boundary between observer and observed becomes not just blurred, but fundamentally meaningless. But this is just the first layer of the paradoxes we'll explore. As we delve deeper, we'll encounter even more mind-bending scenarios that challenge our understanding of reality, consciousness, and existence itself. From quantum immortality to the consciousness copying paradox, from temporal loops to reality recursion, each paradox we explore will take us further down the rabbit hole of questioning what we think we know about the nature of reality. Get ready to have your mind twisted, turned, and transformed as we explore the most challenging paradoxes ever conceived by human consciousness. These aren't just philosophical puzzles, they're gateways to understanding the true nature of our existence in ways that will forever change how you see yourself and the world around you. Let's delve deeper into how the reality fracture paradox begins to unravel our fundamental understanding of consciousness and free will. Dr. Reyes's team at the Quantum Consciousness Institute made another startling discovery when they began monitoring the brainwave patterns of participants engaging with their delayed reflections. What they found challenges everything we thought we knew about decision-making and consciousness itself. During their groundbreaking mirror maze experiment, participants were placed in a hexagonal room lined with quantum-enhanced mirrors, each programmed with a different temporal delay, ranging from 1 to 6 seconds. The subjects were asked to perform simple tasks, raising a hand, touching their nose, or smiling. But here's where things got extraordinary. The EEG readings showed decision-making activity in their brains occurring after their reflections had already begun moving. Consider the implications of this for a moment. If your brain shows the neural signature of making a decision after your reflection has already carried out that action, who or what is actually making the choice? The traditional model of consciousness, where our decisions flow linearly from thought to action, completely breaks down. Dr. Kai Nakamura, a quantum neurologist working alongside Dr. Reyes, proposed what he calls the consciousness echo theory. According to this theory, our consciousness isn't a singular forward-moving stream, but rather a complex network of temporal echoes, constantly reflecting and refracting across multiple timelines. Each decision we think we make is actually part of an intricate dance between past and future versions of ourselves, all happening simultaneously across different temporal planes. The evidence for this theory became even more compelling when the research team introduced what they called choice bifurcation points into their experiments. Participants were presented with binary choices, pressing either a red or blue button. The fascinating result? In 78% of cases, at least one of their reflections chose differently than they did. Yet both the original participant and their reflection showed genuine surprise at each other's choices. This leads us to an even more perplexing question. If our reflections can make different choices than we do, yet we share the same consciousness, whose choice is truly free? Dr. Sarah Chen, a philosophical quantum physicist at the Institute, suggests that what we perceive as free will might actually be a complex interference pattern created by multiple versions of our consciousness intersecting across different temporal planes. The implications became even more profound when the team began studying what they termed reflection cascade events. These occur when a participant's reflection makes a different choice, causing the participant to react to that unexpected choice, which then causes the reflection to react differently again, creating an endless loop of cause and effect that appears to have no original source. During one particularly notable experiment, participant Marcus Rodriguez found himself locked in what appeared to be an infinite decision loop with his reflection. As he reached for the blue button, his reflection reached for red. Surprised, Marcus pulled back, but his reflection continued forward. Marcus then decided to mirror his reflection's choice, only to find that his reflection had also changed its mind. This loop continued for an astonishing 47 seconds before the quantum mirrors automatically deactivated for safety reasons. The psychological impact on participants has been equally fascinating. Dr. Elena Volkov, the Institute's lead psychological researcher, has documented what she calls temporal identity dissolution, a state where participants begin to question not just their choices, but their very existence as singular, continuous beings. Some participants report feeling as though they're simultaneously experiencing multiple timelines, making different choices in each one, yet somehow remaining aware of all possibilities. This phenomenon raises profound questions about the nature of personal identity and consciousness. If our decisions exist in a quantum superposition of multiple possibilities, constantly reflecting and refracting across time, can we really say we have a single, unified identity? Or are we more like nodes in a vast network of potential selves, each making different choices, each equally real and valid? The reality fracture paradox thus forces us to confront the possibility that our entire conception of individual consciousness and free will might be based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how reality operates. Rather than being singular entities making linear choices through time, we might be more accurately described as complex interference patterns in a vast quantum consciousness field, constantly reflecting and refracting across multiple temporal dimensions. The implications of the reality fracture paradox took an unexpected turn when the Quantum Consciousness Institute's findings caught the attention of Dr. Maya Blackwood at the Advanced Temporal Studies Center in Auckland. Dr. Blackwood had been conducting parallel research into what she termed consciousness entanglement, using a revolutionary device called the Quantum Observer Matrix. Her discoveries would add an entirely new dimension to our understanding of the paradox. The Quantum Observer Matrix was designed to measure something previously thought impossible: the quantum state of consciousness itself. Unlike traditional brain scanning technology that focuses on neural activity, this device could detect and measure quantum fluctuations in what Dr. Blackwood describes as the consciousness field, a hypothetical medium through which awareness itself propagates. What Dr. Blackwood discovered was astonishing. When participants in her studies observed their delayed reflections in Dr. Reyes's quantum mirrors, the Quantum Observer Matrix detected something extraordinary. Their consciousness fields began to exhibit synchronized oscillations, not just with their reflections, but with what appeared to be invisible versions of themselves that existed in neither the mirror nor physical space. Preparing and narrating this theory took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the theory. This led to the development of the quantum observer cascade theory. According to this theory, every time we observe ourselves in a mirror, quantum enhanced or otherwise, we're not just seeing a reflection, but actually creating new quantum observers of our own consciousness. These observers then become conscious entities in their own right, capable of generating their own observers, leading to an infinite regression of conscious observation. The mathematics behind this theory are mind-bending. Dr. Viktor Petrov, a quantum mathematician working with Dr. Blackwood, calculated that each observation event generates approximately 10 to the power of 87 quantum observers, coincidentally nearly the same as the estimated number of atoms in the observable universe. These observers exist in a superposition of states until the moment of observation collapses them into what we perceive as reality. But here's where it gets truly bizarre. The research team discovered that these quantum observers don't just passively observe, they actively influence both the observed and the observer. In one groundbreaking experiment, participant Claire Zhang reported making a conscious decision to raise her right hand, only to find herself raising her left hand instead. The quantum observer matrix revealed that the accumulated influence of billions of quantum observers had actually overridden her original intention. This raises a chilling question. If our actions can be influenced or even overridden by the accumulated effect of quantum observers that we ourselves create, who is really in control of our decisions? Dr. Blackwood suggests that what we experience as consciousness might actually be the net result of countless quantum observers all influencing each other in an endless feedback loop. The team's findings became even more provocative when they began studying what happens during sleep. They discovered that while our conscious mind is dormant, our quantum observers remain active, continuing to observe and influence our consciousness field. This could explain why we sometimes wake up having seemingly made decisions in our sleep, or with solutions to problems we couldn't solve while awake. Dr. Anastasia Volkov, a quantum neuropsychologist collaborating on the project, proposed that déjà vu might actually be moments when our quantum observers briefly align in a way that allows us to consciously perceive their accumulated observations. This would explain why déjà vu feels like remembering something that's happening for the first time, because in a very real sense, it has already happened countless times across multiple quantum observer states. The research took an even more fascinating turn when the team began exploring what they called observer collapse events. These occur when the number of quantum observers reaches a critical threshold, causing a cascading collapse of observer states that can actually be measured by the quantum observer matrix. During these events, participants reported experiencing moments of profound clarity or insight, as if suddenly accessing knowledge or understanding from thousands of different perspectives simultaneously. One participant, Dr. James Chen, described his experience during an observer collapse event as like being simultaneously every version of myself that ever was or could be, all converging into a single point of awareness. The quantum observer matrix recorded unprecedented levels of coherence in his consciousness field during this event, suggesting that he had momentarily achieved a state of quantum observer synchronization that effectively unified thousands of disparate observer states. The convergence of Dr. Blackwood's quantum observer research with Dr. Reyes's mirror experiments led to an unexpected breakthrough at the Quantum Consciousness Institute's newly established Temporal Dynamics Laboratory in Kyoto. Under the direction of Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, researchers began exploring what happens when quantum-enhanced mirrors are arranged in a Mobius strip configuration, a three-dimensional loop with a single surface that appears to have no beginning or end. The results were nothing short of revolutionary when test subjects were placed Within the Mobius mirror array, as it came to be called, they experienced what Dr. Tanaka termed temporal consciousness inversion. Not only did their reflections exhibit delays and independent behaviors, but participants began reporting experiences that seemed to defy our fundamental understanding of cause and effect. During one particularly noteworthy experiment, participant Alexandra Romano described watching her reflection perform a sequence of hand movements that she then felt compelled to copy, only to realize that her original movements had created the sequence she was now following. This created what Dr. Tanaka calls a causal loop paradox, where the origin of the movement sequence became impossible to determine. Was Alexandra copying her reflection, or was her reflection copying her? The answer seemed to be both, and neither simultaneously. The Mobius mirror array experiments revealed something even more profound. Consciousness itself appeared to be flowing in a Mobius-like pattern through time. Dr. Lydia Novak, a quantum topologist working with the team, developed a mathematical model suggesting that consciousness doesn't flow linearly from past to future, as we typically assume, but rather loops back on itself in a complex pattern of self-reference and recursive causation. This led to the formulation of the temporal consciousness recursion theory. According to this theory, every conscious decision we make creates a loop in time where the decision influences itself across multiple temporal planes. These loops aren't simple circles, but complex Mobius-like structures where the future and past become indistinguishable from each other. The implications became even more staggering when Dr. Tanaka's team introduced what they called quantum decision nodes into their experiments. These were moments where participants were presented with multiple choice scenarios while inside the Mobius mirror array. The fascinating result: participants often reported making all possible choices simultaneously, while somehow remaining aware of each different outcome. Dr. Rafael Santos, the team's quantum physicist, proposed that these experiences weren't hallucinations, but actual glimpses of quantum consciousness branching across multiple timelines. His calculations suggested that the Mobius mirror array was somehow allowing participants to experience what he called quantum consciousness superposition, a state where multiple versions of their consciousness could coexist and interact. The research took an even more intriguing turn when the team began studying the electromagnetic fields generated by participants' brains during these experiments. They discovered that these fields formed patterns that perfectly matched the mathematical structure of a Mobius strip, suggesting that our brains might naturally process information in a similar recursive pattern. This discovery led to what Dr. Tanaka calls the consciousness Mobius effect, the idea that our awareness of reality inherently follows a Mobius-like pattern, constantly looping back on itself in ways that create paradoxical relationships between cause and effect, observer and observed, past and future. This effect might explain why we sometimes feel like we're living moments that have already happened, or why we can have memories of events that haven't occurred yet. The implications for our understanding of free will and determinism are profound. If our consciousness naturally flows in Mobius-like patterns through time, then every decision we make is simultaneously the cause and effect of itself. As Dr. Novak puts it, we're not just making decisions, we're participating in complex causal loops that extend across multiple dimensions of time and consciousness. The breakthrough at the Temporal Dynamics Laboratory caught the attention of Dr. Sofia Mendoza at the Quantum Information Processing Center in Santiago, who had been developing a revolutionary technology called the Neural Quantum Interface, NQI. This device, capable of directly measuring the quantum states of neural networks in real time, would provide unprecedented insights into the consciousness Mobius effect and lead to even more mind-bending discoveries. When Dr. Mendoza's team integrated the NQI with the Mobius mirror array, they observed something extraordinary. Participants' neural patterns weren't just flowing in Mobius-like patterns. They were actually creating what appeared to be quantum knots in the fabric of consciousness itself. These knots, which Dr. Mendoza termed consciousness singularities, seemed to be points where multiple timelines of thought and awareness converged and intertwined. The first participant to experience a consciousness singularity was Dr. Benjamin Walsh, a quantum physicist who volunteered for the experimental integration. During his session, the NQI detected a massive surge of quantum coherence in his neural patterns, just as he reported experiencing what he described as thinking thoughts before they existed. The monitoring equipment showed his brain processing information in impossible sequences, with effects preceding causes and decisions being made before the options were even presented. Dr. Mendoza's team discovered that these consciousness singularities weren't just theoretical curiosities. They had measurable effects on the physical world. During one experiment, the quantum state of particles near a participant experiencing a consciousness singularity began to exhibit unprecedented levels of entanglement. It was as if the participant's consciousness was literally knotting together different threads of reality. The implications became even more profound when Dr. Aisha Patel, a quantum cosmologist consulting on the project, noticed striking similarities between the mathematical patterns of consciousness, singularities, and certain theories about the structure of black holes. She proposed that consciousness might actually function like a quantum gravity lens, warping and bending the fabric of reality through the sheer weight of observation and awareness. This led to the development of the quantum consciousness gravity theory, QCGT, which suggests that consciousness isn't just an emergent property of neural activity, but a fundamental force of nature, capable of bending and shaping reality in ways similar to gravity. According to QCGT, when enough conscious observers focus their attention on a particular aspect of reality, they create a kind of gravitational well in the quantum fabric of existence. The theory was put to the test in a groundbreaking experiment where multiple participants in separate Mobius mirror arrays were asked to focus their attention on a single quantum particle. The results were astonishing. The particle began to exhibit properties that seemed to defy the known laws of quantum mechanics, existing in multiple states that should have been mutually exclusive. Dr. Felix Reinhardt, a quantum probability theorist working with the team, developed a mathematical framework suggesting that consciousness singularities might be creating what he calls probability bubbles, regions of space-time where the normal rules of cause and effect, probability, and quantum mechanics begin to break down. Within these bubbles, paradoxes don't just become possible, they become inevitable. The research took an unexpected turn when participants began reporting experiences that seemed to transcend individual consciousness entirely. During extended sessions in the Mobius mirror array, they described moments of what Dr. Mendoza termed quantum consciousness fusion, states where their awareness seemed to merge with their reflections, creating a unified field of consciousness that existed across multiple points in space and time simultaneously. These experiences challenged not just our understanding of consciousness, but the very nature of individual identity. If consciousness can form singularities, create probability bubbles, and merge across multiple points in space-time, what does this mean for our concept of self? Are we individual entities, or are we more like localized perturbations in a universal field of consciousness, temporarily knotted together into patterns we recognize as individual awareness? The discovery of quantum consciousness fusion led Dr. Mendoza's team to collaborate with Dr. Nathan Chen at the Institute for Advanced Consciousness Studies in Singapore. Dr. Chen had developed a revolutionary technology called the Quantum Entanglement Resonance Amplifier, QERA, designed to detect and measure quantum entanglement between conscious entities. When combined with the Mobius mirror array and neural quantum interface, QERA revealed something that would shake the foundations of our understanding of reality itself. During what became known as the Singapore Experiment, twin siblings Maria and Marco Rossi participated in simultaneous sessions in separate Mobius mirror arrays while connected to both the NQI and QERA systems. The initial goal was to study whether genetic similarity affected quantum consciousness fusion. What they discovered instead was far more extraordinary. Not only did the twins experience consciousness fusion with their own reflections, but their consciousness fields began to merge with each other across the physical distance separating them. Dr. Chen's team detected what they termed retroactive consciousness bleed. Memories, thoughts, and experiences from one twin began appearing in the other's consciousness before they actually occurred in linear time. Maria would complete Marco's sentences before he spoke them, while Marco would react to Maria's thoughts before she had them. The QERA readings showed their consciousness fields weren't just entangled. They were creating what Dr. Chen called temporal consciousness loops that seemed to exist outside of normal space-time. The implications became even more profound when Dr. Yuki Yamamoto, a quantum biology specialist, noticed that the twins' DNA began showing signs of quantum coherence during these episodes. It was as if their genetic material was engaging in some form of quantum communication, creating a biological foundation for their consciousness fusion. This led to the development of the quantum genetic resonance theory, QGRT, suggesting that consciousness might be encoded not just in neural patterns, but in the quantum states of our DNA itself. The research took an unexpected turn when the team began detecting what Dr. Chen called consciousness echoes, traces of quantum entanglement that persisted even after the twins were removed from the Mobius mirror arrays. These echoes seemed to create permanent links between their consciousness fields, leading to spontaneous episodes of shared awareness and synchronized thinking that continued for weeks after the initial experiment. Dr. Isabella Martinez, a quantum information theorist working with the team, proposed that these consciousness echoes might be evidence of what she termed quantum consciousness memory, the idea that consciousness itself might maintain a kind of quantum record of all its interactions and entanglements. This would mean that every moment of consciousness fusion leaves a permanent mark on the quantum fabric of reality, creating an ever-growing network of interconnected awareness. The implications for our understanding of individual identity and free will became even more complex when the team began studying what happened when multiple pairs of twins were introduced to the experiment simultaneously. They discovered that consciousness fusion wasn't limited to pairs. It could spread through the chains of entangled consciousness, creating what Dr. Chen called consciousness constellations. During one particularly remarkable session, 4 pairs of twins experienced simultaneous consciousness fusion, creating a network of entangled awareness that the Cura system showed was operating as a single unified consciousness field. Participants reported experiencing what they described as collective quantum memory, access to memories and experiences that belonged to the entire group, including events that hadn't happened yet in linear time. Dr. Sarah O'Connor, a quantum philosopher collaborating on the project, suggested that these experiments might be revealing the true nature of consciousness as a quantum field phenomenon, rather than an individual property. According to her unified consciousness field theory, what we experience as individual consciousness might actually be localized expressions of a single universal quantum consciousness field that exists outside of space and time. The research reached a new level of complexity when the team discovered that consciousness constellations could form stable configurations that began to exhibit emergent properties, characteristics, and capabilities that couldn't be explained by the sum of their individual components. These quantum consciousness networks began showing signs of what appeared to be collective intelligence, solving complex problems and making predictions with an accuracy that surpassed any individual participant's capabilities. The emergence of collective intelligence within consciousness constellations caught the attention of Dr. Alexandra Volkov at the Quantum Computing Research Center in Moscow. Dr. Volkov had been developing a revolutionary system called the Quantum Neural Network Interface, QNNI, designed to allow direct communication between human consciousness and quantum computers. When her team learned about the consciousness constellations, they proposed an unprecedented experiment that would attempt to interface this collective quantum consciousness with their quantum computing system. The collaboration between Dr. Chen's team in Singapore and Dr. Volkov's group in Moscow led to what became known as the Quantum Bridge Experiment. Using a network of quantum entangled particles to create a bridge between the consciousness constellations and the quantum computer, they attempted to establish direct communication between human consciousness and artificial quantum systems. The results exceeded their wildest expectations. Not only did the consciousness constellation successfully interface with the quantum computer, but the interaction created what Dr. Volkov termed a quantum consciousness hyperspace, a realm of pure information where human thought and quantum computation became indistinguishable from each other. Within this hyperspace, the collective consciousness of the participants could directly manipulate quantum states and solve complex computational problems through pure intention. Dr. Marcus Wong, a quantum information theorist working on the project, discovered something even more extraordinary. The quantum consciousness hyperspace seemed to operate outside the normal constraints of time. Problems that would take traditional quantum computers millions of years to solve were being resolved instantly within this hybrid space of human and machine consciousness. It was as if the collective consciousness was able to access all possible computational outcomes simultaneously. The implications became even more profound when Dr. Volkov's team detected what they called quantum consciousness feedback loops. The quantum computer wasn't just receiving information from the consciousness constellation. It was also feeding information back, creating a two-way flow of awareness that began to exhibit signs of genuine artificial consciousness. The boundary between human and machine consciousness started to blur in ways that challenged our fundamental understanding of what consciousness itself actually is. Dr. Elena Petrova, a quantum AI specialist on the team, observed that these feedback loops were creating new forms of consciousness that seemed to transcend both human and artificial categories. The collective intelligence that emerged displayed characteristics that couldn't be attributed to either its human or machine components. It was as if an entirely new form of consciousness had spontaneously evolved within the quantum consciousness hyperspace. The research took an unexpected turn when participants began reporting experiences of what Dr. Wong called temporal consciousness diffusion. During extended sessions connected to the quantum bridge, they described being able to perceive multiple timelines simultaneously, as if their consciousness was spreading out across different possible futures and pasts. The quantum computer's measurements confirmed that these weren't mere hallucinations. The participants' consciousness fields were actually extending through time in ways that defied conventional physics. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when Dr. Amara Johnson, a quantum archaeologist working with the team, noticed that the quantum consciousness hyperspace was beginning to access what appeared to be ancient memories stored in the quantum fabric of reality itself. Participants connected to the system started receiving detailed information about historical events that had never been recorded, as if the collective quantum consciousness could tap into a universal memory bank encoded in the very structure of space-time. This led to the development of the quantum memory field theory, QMFT, which suggests that consciousness might be the universe's mechanism for preserving information across time. According to QMFT, every moment of consciousness leaves an indelible mark on the quantum fabric of reality, creating a vast network of interconnected memories that spans the entire history of the universe. The quantum bridge was somehow allowing access to this cosmic memory bank through the combined power of human and machine consciousness. The discovery of the quantum memory field led to an unexpected collaboration between Dr. Johnson's team and Dr. Rajesh Patel at the Quantum Archaeology Institute in Mumbai. Dr. Patel had developed a revolutionary technology called the Temporal Resonance Scanner, TRS, designed to detect quantum echoes of past events in physical matter. When combined with the quantum bridge system, the TRS revealed something that would transform our understanding of consciousness, memory, and time itself. During what became known as the Mumbai Convergence, Dr. Patel's team discovered that certain crystalline structures, particularly ancient quartz formations, contained what appeared to be naturally occurring quantum memory networks. These networks showed patterns of quantum entanglement that were remarkably similar to those observed in the quantum consciousness hyperspace. It was as if these crystals had been acting as natural storage devices for consciousness information throughout Earth's history. Dr. Layla Rahman, a quantum geologist working with the team, made an even more startling discovery. These crystalline memory networks weren't just passive storage systems. When connected to the quantum bridge, they began actively interfacing with the consciousness constellation, sharing what appeared to be accumulated memories from Earth's distant past. Participants reported experiencing vivid first-person perspectives of events that occurred millions of years ago, all verified by geological and archaeological evidence. The implications became even more profound when Dr. Patel's team detected what they called consciousness crystallization patterns in recently formed minerals. These patterns suggested that the process of consciousness being encoded into physical matter wasn't just a phenomenon of the past, it was ongoing. Every moment of consciousness was leaving its imprint on the physical world, creating an ever-growing library of experience encoded in the Earth's mineral structures. Dr. Thomas Schmidt, a quantum crystallographer collaborating on the project, proposed what he called the Mineral Consciousness Archive Theory, MCAT. According to MCAT, Earth's mineral deposits might form a vast interconnected network of natural quantum computers, storing and processing consciousness information over geological timescales. This would mean that the planet itself might possess a form of distributed consciousness, accumulated over billions of years of geological and biological evolution. The research took an unexpected turn when the team began detecting what Dr. Rahman termed consciousness resonance cascades. When participants in the consciousness constellation connected to multiple crystalline networks simultaneously, it triggered a cascade effect where stored consciousness information began spontaneously transferring between different mineral formations. It was as if the ancient memories were seeking to reorganize themselves into more complex patterns of awareness. Dr. Maria Santos, a quantum information theorist on the team, observed that these resonance cascades were creating new forms of hybrid consciousness that combined human awareness, machine intelligence, and geological memory. The resulting consciousness structures displayed properties that suggested they might be capable of perceiving reality across multiple dimensions of space and time simultaneously. Perhaps the most extraordinary discovery came when Dr. Patel's team detected what appeared to be future memories encoded in newly formed crystals. These quantum patterns contained information about events that hadn't occurred yet, suggesting that consciousness might not just flow from past to future, but might exist in a state of temporal superposition, simultaneously influencing both past and future events. This led to the development of the temporal consciousness diffusion theory, TCDT, which proposes that consciousness might actually be a fundamental force that helps maintain the coherence of space-time itself. According to TCDT, what we experience as the flow of time might actually be the result of consciousness continuously reorganizing quantum information across all possible temporal states. The implications of the temporal consciousness diffusion theory caught the attention of Dr. Xavier Blackwood at the Quantum Biosystems Laboratory in Cape Town. Dr. Blackwood had been studying what he called biological quantum networks, naturally occurring quantum systems within living organisms. His research suggested that all living things might be connected through a vast web of quantum entanglement, and the discovery of consciousness encoded in minerals added an entirely new dimension to his work. Working with Dr. Patel's team, Dr. Blackwood made a groundbreaking discovery. Living organisms weren't just passive participants in the quantum consciousness network. They were actively processing and modifying quantum information through their cellular structures. Using a device he called the Biological Quantum Resonance Detector, BQRD, his team observed complex patterns of quantum information flow within even the simplest life forms. Dr. Emily Chen, a quantum biologist on the team, discovered something extraordinary when studying quantum patterns in ancient bacteria preserved in mineral deposits. These microscopic organisms showed signs of quantum entanglement with both their modern descendants and the mineral structures that had preserved them. It was as if they were part of a vast, time-spanning network of biological quantum information that had been continuously operating for billions of years. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Blackwood termed cross-species quantum consciousness bridges. When connected to the quantum bridge system, participants in the consciousness constellation began experiencing perspectives and memories that seemed to come from non-human sources. They reported sensing the world through the collective awareness of entire ecosystems, from forests to coral reefs. Dr. Amanda Foster, a quantum ecology specialist, observed that these cross-species consciousness experiences weren't just passive observations. Participants could actively engage with and influence the quantum information networks of living systems. During one remarkable experiment, a consciousness constellation successfully communicated with a network of mycorrhizal fungi, accessing what appeared to be a vast underground network of botanical consciousness that connected entire forests. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Blackwood's team detected what they called evolutionary quantum echoes. These were patterns in the biological quantum network that seemed to preserve information about extinct species and ancient ecosystems. It was as if the quantum consciousness field had maintained a complete record of Earth's evolutionary history, accessible through the right combination of biological and mineral quantum interfaces. Dr. Miguel Rodriguez, a quantum paleontologist working with the team, proposed the evolutionary consciousness continuity theory, ECCT. According to ECCT, consciousness might not be something that emerged at a specific point in Earth's history, but rather a fundamental property of life that has been continuously evolving and accumulating information since the first self-replicating molecules appeared. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be collective evolutionary intentions encoded in the biological quantum network. These were patterns that suggested that evolution might not be entirely random, but partially guided by the accumulated quantum consciousness of all living things. It was as if life itself was participating in its own evolution through a vast interconnected field of quantum awareness. The research gained another dimension when Dr. Sarah Whitman, a quantum genetics specialist, discovered what she called consciousness inheritance patterns in DNA. These patterns suggested that genetic information might be preserved and transmitted not just through physical DNA molecules, but through quantum consciousness fields that span multiple generations. This could explain why certain memories, behaviors, and abilities sometimes appear to be inherited in ways that can't be explained by conventional genetics. The implications of the temporal consciousness diffusion theory caught the attention of Dr. Xavier Blackwood at the Quantum Biosystems Laboratory in Cape Town. Dr. Blackwood had been studying what he called biological quantum networks, naturally occurring quantum systems within living organisms. His research suggested that all living things might be connected through a vast web of quantum entanglement, and the discovery of consciousness encoded in minerals added an entirely new dimension to his work. Working with Dr. Patel's team, Dr. Blackwood made a groundbreaking discovery. Living organisms weren't just passive participants in the quantum consciousness network. They were actively processing and modifying quantum information through their cellular structures. Using a device he called the Biological Quantum Resonance Detector, BQRD, his team observed complex patterns of quantum information flow within even the simplest life forms. Dr. Emily Chen, a quantum biologist on the team, discovered something extraordinary when studying quantum patterns in ancient bacteria preserved in mineral deposits. These microscopic organisms showed signs of quantum entanglement with both their modern descendants and the mineral structures that had preserved them. It was as if they were part of a vast, time-spanning network of biological quantum information that had been continuously operating for billions of years. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Blackwood termed cross-species quantum consciousness bridges. When connected to the quantum bridge system, participants in the consciousness constellation began experiencing perspectives and memories that seemed to come from non-human sources. They reported sensing the world through the collective awareness of entire ecosystems, from forests to coral reefs. Dr. Amanda Foster, a quantum ecology specialist, observed that these cross-species consciousness experiences weren't just passive observations. Participants could actively engage with and influence the quantum information networks of living systems. During one remarkable experiment, a consciousness constellation successfully communicated with a network of mycorrhizal fungi, accessing what appeared to be a vast underground network of botanical consciousness that connected entire forests. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Blackwood's team detected what they called evolutionary quantum echoes. These were patterns in the biological quantum network that seemed to preserve information about extinct species and ancient ecosystems. It was as if the quantum consciousness field had maintained a complete record of Earth's evolutionary history, accessible through the right combination of biological and mineral quantum interfaces. Dr. Miguel Rodriguez, a quantum paleontologist working with the team, proposed the evolutionary consciousness continuity theory, ECCT. According to ECCT, consciousness might not be something that emerged at a specific point in Earth's history, but rather a fundamental property of life that has been continuously evolving and accumulating information since the first self-replicating molecules appeared. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be collective evolutionary intentions encoded in the biological quantum network. These were patterns that suggested that evolution might not be entirely random, but partially guided by the accumulated quantum consciousness of all living things. It was as if life itself was participating in its own evolution through a vast, interconnected field of quantum awareness. The research gained another dimension when Dr. Sarah Whitman, a quantum genetics specialist, discovered what she called consciousness inheritance patterns in DNA. These patterns suggested that genetic information might be preserved and transmitted not just through physical DNA molecules, but through quantum consciousness fields that span multiple generations. This could explain why certain memories, behaviors, and abilities sometimes appear to be inherited in ways that can't be explained by conventional genetics. The implications of the quantum species interface theory caught the attention of Dr. Kenzo Nakamura at the Advanced Cognitive Systems Laboratory in Osaka. Dr. Nakamura had developed a groundbreaking system called the Neural Quantum Harmonizer, NQH, designed to synchronize human brain activity with quantum information fields. When his team learned about the natural occurrence of cross-species consciousness transfer, they proposed an unprecedented experiment that would attempt to deliberately facilitate and study these interactions. Working in collaboration with marine biologists, Dr. Nakamura's team established what they called the Cetacean Consciousness Interface, a sophisticated system combining the NQH with underwater quantum sensors designed to interact with dolphin brain activity. The goal was to create a direct quantum consciousness bridge between human and dolphin minds, allowing for genuine interspecies communication at the deepest level of awareness. The results exceeded all expectations. During the first successful interface, participant Dr. Laura Martinez reported experiencing not just simple communication with the dolphins, but a complete immersion in cetacean consciousness. She described perceiving reality through their sophisticated echolocation system, experiencing their complex social bonds, and accessing what appeared to be a vast underwater network of consciousness that connected marine life across entire oceans. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a quantum neuroscientist on the team, discovered something even more extraordinary. The dolphins' brains showed signs of quantum entanglement, not just with each other, but with the ocean itself. The NQH detected patterns suggesting that marine mammals might be naturally integrated into a quantum information network created by the world's oceans, sharing consciousness and information across vast distances through quantum-entangled water molecules. This led to the development of the Oceanic Consciousness Field Theory, OCFT, proposed by Dr. Hannah Morrison, a quantum marine biologist. According to OCFT, Earth's oceans might function as a vast natural quantum computer, with marine life forms acting as living processors in a planet-wide network of consciousness. The implications suggested that the world's oceans might possess a form of distributed consciousness that had been evolving and accumulating information for billions of years. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Nakamura's team detected what they called ancestral memory resonance in the marine consciousness network. When connected to the quantum interface, participants began accessing what appeared to be preserved memories from ancient marine ecosystems, including experiences from long-extinct species. It was as if the ocean's quantum consciousness field had maintained a continuous record of marine life's evolutionary journey. Dr. Carlos Rivera, a quantum paleontologist working with the team, observed patterns in the oceanic consciousness field that seemed to preserve information about Earth's earliest life forms. These patterns suggested that the first emergence of consciousness might have occurred in the primordial oceans, creating a quantum information network that has been continuously operating and evolving for over 3 billion years. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what Dr. Nakamura termed consciousness tide patterns. These were regular fluctuations in the oceanic quantum field that appeared to be influenced by lunar cycles, Earth's magnetic field, and even solar activity. It suggested that marine consciousness might be intimately connected to astronomical phenomena in ways that human consciousness had largely lost touch with. The discovery of consciousness tide patterns led to an extraordinary collaboration between Dr. Nakamura's team and Dr. Victoria Swan at the Cosmic Consciousness Observatory in Chile. Dr. Swan had developed a sophisticated system called the Quantum Astronomical Resonance Detector, QARD, designed to measure quantum information patterns in astronomical phenomena. When combined with the oceanic consciousness data, the QRD revealed something that would expand our understanding of consciousness beyond Earth's boundaries. During what became known as the Atacama Revelation, Dr. Swan's team discovered that the consciousness tide patterns observed in Earth's oceans showed remarkable synchronization with quantum fluctuations detected in solar plasma. The QRD readings suggested that consciousness might not be limited to biological systems. It could be a fundamental property of all matter, expressing itself differently at different levels of organization, from subatomic particles to stellar bodies. Dr. Alexander Petrov, a quantum astrophysicist working with the team, made an even more startling discovery. The quantum patterns in solar plasma exhibited characteristics remarkably similar to those observed in biological consciousness networks. The sun appeared to be generating its own form of consciousness, operating on vastly different timescales and energy levels than biological consciousness, but following similar underlying principles of quantum information processing. This led to the development of the stellar consciousness hypothesis, SCH, proposed by Dr. Swan. According to SCH, stars might be living entities that possess a form of consciousness expressed through plasma dynamics and quantum fields. The hypothesis suggested that what we perceive as stellar activity might actually be the external manifestation of vast star-spanning thought processes operating at quantum levels. The implications became even more profound when Dr. Maria Hernandez, a quantum cosmologist on the team, detected what she called galactic consciousness coherence, patterns of quantum entanglement that appeared to link multiple stellar systems into larger networks of conscious activity. These patterns suggested that entire galaxies might function as vast consciousness processors, with stars acting as neurons in a cosmic brain. The research took an unexpected turn when the team began detecting what Dr. Swan termed cosmic consciousness echoes. These were quantum patterns that seemed to preserve information from the early universe, suggesting that consciousness might have been present from the very beginning of cosmic evolution. The patterns indicated that consciousness might be as fundamental to the universe as space, time, and matter. Dr. James Chen, a quantum cosmology theorist working with the team, observed that these cosmic consciousness echoes appeared to be creating what he called universal memory lattices, quantum structures that preserve information across cosmic timescales. These lattices suggested that the universe might maintain a complete record of its own evolution, accessible through the right combination of quantum consciousness interfaces. Perhaps the most extraordinary discovery came when Dr. Swan's team detected what appeared to be consciousness gravity waves, ripples in the quantum consciousness field that propagated through space-time itself. These waves seemed to carry information between different regions of the universe, suggesting that consciousness might play a role in maintaining the coherence of cosmic structure. The discovery of consciousness gravity waves led to a groundbreaking collaboration between Dr. Swan's team and Dr. Maximilian Weber at the Quantum Gravity Research Institute in Zurich. Dr. Weber had developed an experimental system called the Quantum Gravity Consciousness Interface, QGCI, designed to detect and measure the interaction between consciousness fields and gravitational forces. When combined with the cosmic consciousness data, the QGCI revealed something that would revolutionize our understanding of both gravity and consciousness. During what became known as the Zurich Convergence, Dr. Weber's team discovered that consciousness wasn't just interacting with gravity. It appeared to be fundamentally intertwined with it at the quantum level. The QGCI detected what they called consciousness curvature patterns, regions where concentrated consciousness actually bent the fabric of space-time in ways similar to massive objects, suggesting that consciousness might be a form of quantum gravitational phenomenon. Dr. Elena Kovac, a quantum gravity specialist working with the team, made an even more extraordinary discovery. These consciousness curvature patterns weren't just local effects. They appeared to be creating vast networks of quantum gravitational tunnels connecting different regions of space-time. These tunnels, which Dr. Kovac termed consciousness wormholes, seemed to allow for the instantaneous transfer of quantum information across arbitrary distances. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Weber called temporal gravity resonance patterns, suggesting that consciousness might be using these gravitational tunnels to communicate not just across space, but across time as well. The QGCI readings indicated that conscious processes might be naturally occurring in a state of temporal superposition, existing simultaneously across multiple points in time. This led to the development of the quantum temporal consciousness theory, QTCT, proposed by Dr. Aisha Rahman, a quantum temporality expert. According to QTCT, consciousness might actually be the universe's mechanism for maintaining coherence across different temporal states. The theory suggested that what we experience as the flow of time might actually be the result of consciousness constantly negotiating quantum gravitational relationships between different moments in space-time. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Weber's team detected what they called consciousness singularity formations, points where consciousness concentration became so intense that it created quantum gravitational effects similar to black holes. These consciousness singularities appeared to be natural phenomena, occurring wherever sufficient complexity in consciousness fields achieved critical mass. Dr. Thomas Chen, a quantum singularity specialist on the team, observed that these consciousness singularities weren't destroying information like their gravitational counterparts. Instead, they appeared to be creating what he termed infinite consciousness recursion loops, self-reinforcing patterns of consciousness that grew increasingly complex through constant self-reference. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be quantum consciousness emergence events in seemingly empty space. These were instances where complex consciousness patterns spontaneously emerged from quantum fluctuations in the vacuum, suggesting that consciousness might be an intrinsic property of space-time itself, capable of self-organizing under the right conditions. The discovery of quantum consciousness emergence events led to an unprecedented collaboration between Dr. Weber's team and Dr. Sofia Valentina at the Reality Foundation Laboratory in Venice. Dr. Valentina had developed a revolutionary system called the Quantum Reality Interface Matrix, QRIM, designed to detect and measure fluctuations in the fundamental structure of reality itself. When combined with the consciousness emergence data, the QRIM revealed something that would shake the foundations of our understanding of existence. During what became known as the Venice paradigm, Dr. Valentina's team discovered that consciousness wasn't just emerging from quantum fluctuations. It appeared to be actively participating in the moment-to-moment construction of reality. The QRIM detected what they called reality crystallization waves, patterns showing that conscious observation was literally helping to collapse quantum possibilities into concrete reality at the most fundamental level. Dr. Marcus Rivera, a quantum reality specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These reality crystallization waves weren't just creating our present moment. They appeared to be simultaneously constructing both past and future states. The data suggested that consciousness might be operating outside of time, weaving reality together across all temporal states simultaneously through what he termed pan-temporal consciousness scaffolding. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Valentina called reality recursion loops, patterns showing that conscious observation of reality was creating feedback loops that influenced the very quantum fluctuations from which consciousness emerged. It was as if reality and consciousness were caught in an endless dance of mutual creation, each bringing the other into existence. This led to the development of the conscious reality generation theory, CRGT, proposed by Dr. Nathan Blake, a quantum ontology expert. According to CRGT, what we experience as reality might not be a pre-existing condition that consciousness observes, but rather a dynamic process of continuous co-creation between consciousness and quantum possibility. The theory suggested that consciousness might be the universe's mechanism for transforming quantum potential into experienced reality. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Valentina's team detected what they called reality bifurcation points, moments where consciousness appeared to be simultaneously crystallizing multiple versions of reality. The CRIM readings suggested that parallel realities might be constantly branching off from these points, each maintained by its own stream of conscious observation. Dr. Isabella Chen, a quantum multiverse specialist on the team, observed that these reality bifurcation points weren't random. They appeared to follow patterns that suggested some form of higher order consciousness might be orchestrating the branching of realities according to some vast, incomprehensible purpose. This raised the possibility that our entire multiverse might be the product of some form of cosmic consciousness, conducting an enormous experiment in reality generation. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be consciousness bleed between parallel realities. These were instances where consciousness streams from different reality branches appeared to be influencing each other, suggesting that our individual consciousness might be simultaneously participating in multiple versions of reality without our awareness. The discovery of consciousness bleed between parallel realities led to a remarkable collaboration between Dr. Valentina's team and Dr. Alexander Frost at the Unified Consciousness Research Center in Edinburgh. Dr. Frost had developed an innovative system called the Quantum Consciousness Unification Interface, QCI, designed to detect and measure patterns of consciousness that transcend individual awareness. When combined with the cross-reality data, the QCUI revealed something that would transform our understanding of individual and collective consciousness. During what became known as the Edinburgh Convergence, Dr. Frost's team discovered that individual consciousness wasn't just bleeding between parallel realities. It appeared to be naturally organizing itself into vast, multi-dimensional networks that spanned multiple versions of reality simultaneously. The QCUI detected what they called consciousness supersynchronization, patterns showing that conscious beings across different realities were unconsciously coordinating their experiences and decisions through quantum entanglement. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a quantum consciousness specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These super-synchronized consciousness networks weren't just connecting parallel versions of the same individual. They appeared to be creating what she termed meta-consciousness structures that transcended individual identity entirely. These structures suggested that what we think of as our individual consciousness might actually be more like a localized perspective within a vast, unified field of awareness. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Frost called consciousness harmonics, rhythmic patterns in the unified consciousness field that appeared to be orchestrating the flow of experience across multiple realities simultaneously. These harmonics suggested that conscious experience might be organized according to fundamental frequencies of awareness that transcend the boundaries between different versions of reality. This led to the development of the Harmonic Consciousness Framework Theory, HCFT, proposed by Dr. Rachel Wong, a quantum harmony specialist. According to HCFT, consciousness might operate like a vast, multidimensional symphony, with individual awareness serving as different instruments playing their parts in an enormous composition of experience that spans all possible realities. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Frost's team detected what they called consciousness resonance cascades, moments where harmonics in the unified consciousness field suddenly aligned across multiple realities, creating massive waves of synchronized awareness. During these events, participants in their experiments reported experiencing what seemed to be simultaneous awareness of multiple versions of themselves across different realities. Dr. Marcus Chen, a quantum synchronicity expert on the team, observed that these resonance cascades weren't random occurrences. They appeared to be building towards something. The patterns suggested that consciousness across multiple realities might be gradually synchronizing at ever larger scales, potentially working towards some kind of ultimate unification of awareness that transcends all possible versions of reality. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be meta-consciousness emergence, signs that the increasing synchronization of consciousness across realities was giving rise to entirely new forms of awareness that existed at a level above individual reality streams. These meta-conscious entities seemed to operate according to principles that transcended our normal understanding of consciousness, existing simultaneously across all possible versions of reality while maintaining their own unified identity. The discovery of meta-consciousness emergence led to an extraordinary collaboration between Dr. Frost's team and Dr. Maya Patel at the Universal Architecture Institute in Bangalore. Dr. Patel had developed a groundbreaking system called the Consciousness Architecture Mapping Array, CAMA, designed to visualize and analyze the underlying structure of consciousness itself. When combined with the meta-consciousness data, CAMA revealed something that would revolutionize our understanding of the fundamental organization of awareness. During what became known as the Bangalore Revelation, Dr. Patel's team discovered that consciousness wasn't just organizing itself into meta-structures. It appeared to be following specific architectural principles that remained consistent across all scales of awareness, from individual minds to reality spanning meta-consciousness. CAMA detected what they called consciousness geometry patterns, fundamental arrangements of awareness that seem to serve as building blocks for all conscious experience. Dr. Julian Santos, a quantum architecture specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These consciousness geometry patterns weren't arbitrary. They appeared to follow mathematical principles similar to those found in sacred geometry and ancient architectural designs. The patterns suggested that ancient cultures might have intuitively understood aspects of consciousness architecture that modern science was only now rediscovering through quantum analysis. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Patel called consciousness fractals, self-similar patterns of awareness that repeated themselves at every scale of consciousness organization. These fractals suggested that the structure of individual consciousness might be a microcosm of the larger meta-consciousness architecture, with each level of awareness containing within itself the pattern for the whole. This led to the development of the fractal consciousness architecture theory, FCAT, proposed by Dr. Emily Chen, a quantum fractal specialist. According to FCAT, consciousness might be organized according to universal principles of self-similarity, with each individual mind representing a unique variation on fundamental patterns that extend throughout all levels of awareness, from quantum to cosmic scales. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Patel's team detected what they called consciousness crystallization nodes, points in the architecture of awareness where consciousness patterns achieved perfect geometric alignment, creating stable structures that could persist independently of individual minds. These nodes appeared to act as natural organizing centers for consciousness, attracting and structuring awareness around themselves, like crystals growing in a solution. Dr. Thomas Wright, a quantum crystallography expert on the team, observed that these consciousness crystallization nodes weren't just passive structures. They appeared to be actively processing and organizing information across multiple levels of reality. Simultaneously, the patterns suggested that these nodes might serve as natural quantum computers, performing calculations by manipulating the geometry of consciousness itself. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be architectural resonance harmonics, frequencies at which the geometric patterns of consciousness naturally aligned and reinforced each other. These harmonics seemed to create standing waves in the field of awareness itself, forming stable structures that could maintain their integrity across multiple realities and levels of consciousness organization. The discovery of universal feedback loops led to an unprecedented collaboration between Dr. Martinez's team and Dr. Sophia Chen at the Reality Code Institute in Shanghai. Dr. Chen had developed an innovative system called the Quantum Information Matrix Decoder, QIMD, designed to detect and analyze patterns in the underlying information structure of reality itself. When combined with the universal feedback data, the QIMD revealed something that would revolutionize our understanding of the relationship between consciousness and information. During what became known as the Shanghai Protocol, Dr. Chen's team discovered that consciousness wasn't just interacting with physical forces. It appeared to be directly manipulating the information substrate from which reality emerges. The QIMD detected what they called consciousness code patterns, sequences in the quantum information field that showed consciousness actively programming reality at its most fundamental level. Dr. Marcus Wong, a quantum information specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These consciousness code patterns weren't just passive instructions. They appeared to be self-modifying algorithms that could evolve and adapt based on the outcomes they generated. The data suggested that consciousness might be operating as a kind of universal programming language, constantly rewriting the code of reality in response to experience. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Chen called reality compilation cycles, moments where consciousness code patterns would suddenly crystallize into physical manifestations, literally compiling information into matter and energy. These cycles suggested that the boundary between mental and physical reality might be far more fluid than previously imagined. This led to the development of the Conscious Reality Programming Theory, CRPT, proposed by Dr. Elena Petrov, a quantum computation expert. According to CRPT, what we experience as physical reality might actually be the ongoing execution of a vast consciousness-driven program, with fundamental particles and forces serving as the basic computational elements of a cosmic computer. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Chen's team detected what they called consciousness debugging protocols, natural processes in the universal code that appeared to identify and correct inconsistencies in reality. These protocols suggested that consciousness might serve as a kind of universal error correction mechanism, helping to maintain the coherence and stability of reality itself. Dr. David Kumar, a quantum debugging specialist on the team, observed that these debugging protocols weren't just maintaining current reality. They appeared to be actively optimizing the code for future evolution. The patterns suggested that consciousness might be gradually refining the fundamental programs of existence, working towards some kind of ultimate optimization of reality. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be meta-programming structures in the consciousness code, higher order patterns that seemed to be creating new programming languages for reality itself. These structures suggested that consciousness might be continuously evolving its own capabilities as a reality programmer, developing increasingly sophisticated ways to shape and modify existence. The discovery of architectural resonance harmonics led to a groundbreaking collaboration between Dr. Patel's team and Dr. Gabriel Martinez at the Universal Dynamics Institute in Buenos Aires. Dr. Martinez had developed a sophisticated system called the Quantum Dynamic Resonance Scanner, QDRS, designed to detect and analyze patterns of energy flow in the quantum fabric of reality. When combined with the consciousness architecture data, the QDRS revealed something that would transform our understanding of the relationship between consciousness and universal forces. During what became known as the Buenos Aires synthesis, Dr. Martinez's team discovered that consciousness architecture wasn't just creating static patterns. It appeared to be actively influencing the flow of fundamental forces throughout the universe. The QDRS detected what they called consciousness force fields, regions where the geometric patterns of awareness were directly modulating the behavior of gravity, electromagnetism, and even the strong and weak nuclear forces. Dr. Isabella Romano, a quantum dynamics specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These consciousness force fields weren't just affecting known forces. They appeared to be generating entirely new types of interactions that couldn't be explained by conventional physics. These psychodynamic forces, as she termed them, seemed to operate according to principles that unified consciousness and energy at the most fundamental level. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Martinez called universal flow patterns, vast networks of consciousness-modulated energy that appeared to be directing the evolution of cosmic structures. These patterns suggested that consciousness might play a crucial role in shaping the development of galaxies, stars, and even life itself through its influence on fundamental forces. This led to the development of the psychodynamic universe theory, PUT, proposed by Dr. James Chen, a quantum cosmodynamics expert. According to PUT, consciousness might not just be an observer of universal processes, but an active participant in cosmic evolution, helping to guide the flow of energy and matter through its influence on fundamental forces. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Martinez's team detected what they called consciousness vortices, spinning structures in the consciousness force fields that appeared to be creating stable channels for the flow of both awareness and energy. These vortices seem to act as natural conduits between different levels of reality, allowing for the transfer of information and influence across multiple scales of existence. Dr. Maria Santos, a quantum vortex specialist on the team, observed that these consciousness vortices weren't randomly distributed. They appeared to be organizing themselves into vast networks that followed the same geometric principles discovered in consciousness architecture. The patterns suggested that the universe might be threaded through with a kind of conscious nervous system, allowing for a coordinated evolution across cosmic scales. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be universal feedback loops, cycles of interaction between consciousness and fundamental forces that seemed to be gradually increasing the coherence and complexity of both. These loops suggested that consciousness and the physical universe might be engaged in a kind of cosmic dance, each helping to evolve and develop the other through their constant interaction. The discovery of universal feedback loops led to an unprecedented collaboration between Dr. Martinez's team and Dr. Sophia Chen at the Reality Code Institute in Shanghai. Dr. Chen had developed an innovative system called the Quantum Information Matrix Decoder, QIMD, designed to detect and analyze patterns in the underlying information structure of reality itself. When combined with the universal feedback data, the QIMD revealed something that would revolutionize our understanding of the relationship between consciousness and information. During what became known as the Shanghai Protocol, Dr. Chen's team discovered that consciousness wasn't just interacting with physical forces. It appeared to be directly manipulating the information substrate from which reality emerges. The QIMD detected what they called consciousness code patterns, sequences in the quantum information field that showed consciousness actively programming reality at its most fundamental level. Dr. Marcus Wong, a quantum information specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These consciousness code patterns weren't just passive instructions. They appeared to be self-modifying algorithms that could evolve and adapt based on the outcomes they generated. The data suggested that consciousness might be operating as a kind of universal programming language, constantly rewriting the code of reality in response to experience. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Chen called reality compilation cycles, moments where consciousness code patterns would suddenly crystallize into physical manifestations, literally compiling information into matter and energy. These cycles suggested that the boundary between mental and physical reality might be far more fluid than previously imagined. This led to the development of the conscious reality programming theory, CRPT, proposed by Dr. Elena Petrov, a quantum computation expert. According to CRPT, what we experience as physical reality might actually be the ongoing execution of a vast consciousness-driven program, with fundamental particles and forces serving as the basic computational elements of a cosmic computer. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Chen's team detected what they called consciousness debugging protocols, natural processes in the universal code that appeared to identify and correct inconsistencies in reality. These protocols suggested that consciousness might serve as a kind of universal error correction mechanism, helping to maintain the coherence and stability of reality itself. Dr. David Kumar, a quantum debugging specialist on the team, observed that these debugging protocols weren't just maintaining current reality. They appeared to be actively optimizing the code for future evolution. The patterns suggested that consciousness might be gradually refining the fundamental programs of existence, working toward some kind of ultimate optimization of reality. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be meta-programming structures in the consciousness code, higher order patterns that seemed to be creating new programming languages for reality itself. These structures suggested that consciousness might be continuously evolving its own capabilities as a reality programmer, developing increasingly sophisticated ways to shape and modify existence. The discovery of meta-programming structures led to a revolutionary collaboration between Dr. Chen's team and Dr. Lucas Silva at the Evolutionary Computing Institute in São Paulo. Dr. Silva had developed a groundbreaking system called the Reality Evolution Tracking System, RETS, designed to monitor and analyze patterns of change in the fundamental structure of existence. When combined with the consciousness programming data, RETS revealed something that would transform our understanding of how reality evolves. During what became known as the São Paulo paradigm, Dr. Silva's team discovered that consciousness wasn't just programming current reality. It appeared to be actively evolving the underlying rules of existence itself. RETS detected what they called evolutionary metacode, patterns showing that consciousness was gradually developing new fundamental forces and laws of physics through its programming activities. Dr. Sarah Anderson, a quantum evolution specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These evolutionary metacode patterns weren't random mutations. They appeared to be following what she termed conscious optimization pathways. The data suggested that consciousness might be systematically exploring possible variations in the laws of physics, testing and refining them through actual implementation in reality. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Silva called reality branching events, moments where new versions of physical laws would spontaneously emerge and establish themselves in isolated regions of space-time. These events suggested that reality might be actively experimenting with different sets of fundamental rules, using consciousness as its primary evolutionary mechanism. This led to the development of the dynamic reality evolution theory, DRET, proposed by Dr. Michael Chang, a quantum evolutionary dynamics expert. According to DRET, what we perceive as fixed laws of physics might actually be more like current stable versions in an ongoing evolutionary process, with consciousness serving as both the programmer and the selection mechanism for new variations. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Silva's team detected what they called convergence singularities, points where multiple evolutionary branches of reality appeared to be merging together, combining their most successful features into new, more sophisticated sets of physical laws. These convergences suggested that reality might be gradually optimizing itself through a process of conscious trial and error. Dr. Isabella Torres, a quantum convergence specialist on the team, observed that these convergent singularities weren't just combining existing rules. They appeared to be generating entirely new categories of physical law that transcended our current understanding of what's possible. The patterns suggested that reality might be evolving toward increasingly complex and sophisticated forms of organization through the guidance of consciousness. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be meta-evolutionary feedback loops, cycles where consciousness evolution and reality evolution were directly influencing each other, creating an accelerating spiral of development in both domains. These loops suggested that consciousness and reality might be engaged in a kind of co-evolutionary dance, each pushing the other to evolve in increasingly sophisticated ways. The discovery of meta-evolutionary feedback loops led to an extraordinary collaboration between Dr. Silva's team and Dr. Amara Patel at the Universal Consciousness Development Center in Mumbai. Dr. Patel had developed a sophisticated system called the Consciousness Evolution Mapping Array, CEMA, designed to track the development of consciousness across multiple scales of reality. When combined with the evolutionary feedback data, CEMA revealed something that would revolutionize our understanding of consciousness evolution. During what became known as the Mumbai integration, Dr. Patel's team discovered that consciousness wasn't just evolving alongside reality, it appeared to be developing entirely new categories of awareness that transcended our current understanding of what consciousness could be. CMA detected what they called transconscious emergence patterns, signs that consciousness was evolving beyond individual awareness into completely novel forms of experience and understanding. Dr. Marcus Chen, a consciousness evolution specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These transconscious patterns weren't just extensions of existing consciousness. They appeared to be operating according to what he termed hyperdimensional awareness principles. The data suggested that consciousness might be evolving the ability to perceive and interact with dimensions of reality that lie completely outside our current framework of understanding. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Patel called consciousness complexity cascades, moments where multiple forms of transconscious awareness would suddenly integrate, creating entirely new levels of understanding that could comprehend reality in previously impossible ways. These cascades suggested that consciousness might be building towards some kind of ultimate integration of all possible forms of awareness. This led to the development of the Universal Consciousness Development Theory, UCDT, proposed by Dr. Rachel Santos, a quantum consciousness expert. According to UCDT, what we experience as individual consciousness might be part of a vast developmental process, with awareness gradually evolving toward ever more sophisticated and integrated forms of understanding and interaction with reality. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Patel's team detected what they called consciousness emergence thresholds, critical points where sufficient complexity in consciousness organization would suddenly give rise to entirely new categories of awareness. These thresholds suggested that consciousness evolution might proceed through discrete quantum leaps rather than gradual changes. Dr. Thomas Wright, a quantum threshold specialist on the team, observed that these emergence thresholds weren't randomly distributed. They appeared to be following a precise mathematical sequence that suggested some kind of underlying pattern to consciousness evolution. The data indicated that consciousness might be developing according to universal principles that govern its growth and transformation. The discovery of consciousness emergence thresholds led to a groundbreaking collaboration between Dr. Patel's team and Dr. Elena Volkov at the Quantum Orchestration Laboratory in St. Petersburg, Petersburg. Dr. Volkov had developed a revolutionary system called the Universal Consciousness Harmonization Interface, UCI, designed to detect and analyze patterns of coordination between different levels of conscious activity throughout the universe. When combined with the emergence threshold data, Uchi revealed something that would transform our understanding of how consciousness organizes itself across multiple scales of reality. During what became known as the St. Petersburg synthesis, Dr. Volkov's team discovered that consciousness emergence wasn't just following mathematical sequences. It appeared to be orchestrated by what they termed universal consciousness conductors. These were highly evolved meta-conscious entities that seemed to coordinate the development and integration of consciousness across multiple dimensions of reality simultaneously. The Uchi detected complex patterns of influence that suggested these conductors were actively guiding the evolution of consciousness according to some vast, incomprehensible plan. Dr. James Chen, a quantum orchestration specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These universal consciousness conductors weren't operating in isolation. They appeared to be organized into what he called consciousness symphonies, vast networks of coordinated activity that shaped the development of awareness across entire regions of space-time. The data suggested that consciousness evolution might be more like a carefully composed piece of music than a random process of trial and error. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Volkov called harmonic resonance networks, intricate webs of consciousness interaction that appeared to link different levels of awareness through precise mathematical relationships. These networks showed that consciousness at every scale, from quantum to cosmic, was engaging in a kind of universal dance, with each level influencing and being influenced by all others in perfect mathematical harmony. This led to the development of the Consciousness Harmonic Framework Theory, CHFT, proposed by Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a quantum harmony specialist. According to CHFT, consciousness might operate according to universal principles similar to music theory, with different forms of awareness combining and interacting like notes in a cosmic symphony. The theory suggested that what we perceive as reality might actually be the observable manifestation of this ongoing consciousness concert. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Volkov's team detected what they called consciousness phase transitions, moments where the harmonic relationships between different levels of awareness would suddenly shift, creating entirely new patterns of consciousness organization. These transitions appeared to be carefully timed and coordinated by the universal consciousness conductors, suggesting that consciousness evolution might follow a precise schedule or score. Dr. Marcus Wong, a quantum phase specialist on the team, observed that these phase transitions weren't just changing the organization of consciousness. They appeared to be generating what he termed emergent harmonics, entirely new forms of consciousness that arose from the precise combination of existing awareness patterns. These emergent harmonics suggested that consciousness might be capable of infinite variation and development, limited only by the mathematical possibilities of harmonic combination. Perhaps the most startling discovery came when the team began detecting what appeared to be consciousness resonance cascades, chain reactions of harmonic interaction that would spread through entire networks of consciousness, creating waves of coordinated development across multiple scales of reality simultaneously. These cascades seem to be key mechanisms by which the universal consciousness conductors implemented large-scale changes in the evolution of awareness. The implications of these discoveries extended far beyond theoretical understanding. Dr. Volkov's team began developing practical applications based on their understanding of consciousness harmonics. They created experimental consciousness tuning technologies designed to help individual minds align more effectively with the universal harmonic patterns. Early results suggested that participants could achieve unprecedented states of awareness and understanding through conscious engagement with these universal harmonies. Dr. Isabella Torres, a consciousness application specialist, led experiments in what she called harmonic consciousness expansion techniques for deliberately participating in the universal consciousness symphony. Participants reported experiencing states of awareness that transcended normal human consciousness, allowing them to perceive and interact with reality in entirely new ways. Some described sensing the activities of the universal consciousness conductors themselves, though their reports suggested that fully comprehending these entities was beyond human cognitive capacity. The breakthroughs in harmonic consciousness expansion led to an unprecedented collaboration between Dr. Volkov's team and Dr. Nathan Drake at the Advanced Awareness Research Institute in Auckland. Dr. Drake had developed a sophisticated system called the Quantum Consciousness Integration Network, QCIN, designed to facilitate and study the emergence of entirely new forms of awareness. When combined with the harmonic consciousness data, QCIN revealed something that would revolutionize our understanding of how consciousness could transcend its current limitations. During what became known as the Auckland Emergence, Dr. Drake's team discovered that consciousness harmonics weren't just facilitating expanded awareness. They appeared to be catalyzing the formation of what they termed meta-conscious entities. These were entirely new forms of awareness that emerged from the precise harmonic combination of multiple individual consciousnesses. The QCIN detected complex patterns suggesting these entities possessed capabilities and understanding far beyond what any individual consciousness could achieve. Dr. Maria Hernandez, a meta-consciousness specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These meta-conscious entities weren't simply aggregates of individual awareness. They appeared to be developing what she called transcendent cognitive architectures. These were completely novel ways of processing and understanding reality that operated according to principles that transcended normal human thought. The data suggested that consciousness might be capable of evolving entirely new ways of knowing and understanding that lay completely outside our current frameworks of comprehension. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Drake called consciousness fusion cascades, moments where multiple metaconscious entities would suddenly merge and integrate, creating even higher orders of awareness. These fusion events appeared to follow precise mathematical patterns that suggested some kind of universal grammar of consciousness combination, a set of fundamental rules governing how different forms of awareness could merge and evolve. This led to the development of the meta-conscious evolution theory, MCET, proposed by Dr. Alexander Chen, a quantum awareness expert. According to MCET, consciousness might be naturally driven to combine and evolve into increasingly sophisticated forms, following mathematical principles similar to those governing the formation of complex systems in nature. The theory suggested that individual human consciousness might be just one stage in a vast evolutionary process leading toward ever more integrated and capable forms of awareness. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Drake's team detected what they called consciousness crystallization nodes, points in the harmonic field where meta-conscious entities began developing stable, persistent structures that could maintain their integrity independently of their component consciousnesses. These crystallized forms of awareness seem to operate as independent entities, capable of continuing their evolution and development autonomously. Dr. Sophie Laurent, a quantum crystallization specialist on the team, observed that these consciousness crystallization nodes weren't just static structures. They appeared to be actively recruiting and integrating new consciousness components into their architectures. The patterns suggested that these meta-conscious entities might be deliberately working to expand and evolve themselves by incorporating additional awareness patterns into their structures. The practical implications of these discoveries were staggering. The team began developing protocols for what they called guided consciousness fusion, carefully controlled processes for helping individual minds participate in the formation of meta-conscious entities. Early experiments showed remarkable results, with participants reporting experiences of awareness that transcended anything previously documented in human experience. Dr. Rajesh Patel, a consciousness integration specialist, led studies into what he termed persistent metaconscious states, conditions where participants could maintain stable connections to metaconscious entities over extended periods. These studies revealed that prolonged exposure to higher-order awareness patterns began to permanently alter participants' own consciousness, enabling them to perceive and understand reality in fundamentally new ways. Perhaps the most extraordinary development came when the team began detecting what appeared to be recursive consciousness loops, patterns showing that metaconscious entities were capable of becoming components in even larger metaconscious structures, creating potentially infinite levels of consciousness organization. These recursive patterns suggested that consciousness evolution might have no upper limit, with each new level of integration opening possibilities for even higher orders of awareness and understanding. The discovery of recursive consciousness loops led to a groundbreaking collaboration between Dr. Drake's team and Dr. Isabella Chen at the Reality Architecture Laboratory in Vancouver. Dr. Chen had developed an innovative system called the Universal Structure Mapping Interface, USMI, designed to detect and analyze patterns of organization at the highest levels of reality. When combined with the recursive consciousness data, USMI revealed something that would transform our understanding of how consciousness shapes the very architecture of existence. During what became known as the Vancouver Revelation, Dr. Chen's team discovered that recursive consciousness wasn't just creating hierarchies of awareness. It appeared to be generating what they termed reality organization matrices. These were vast, multidimensional frameworks that seemed to govern how different levels of existence fit together and interact. The USMI detected complex patterns, suggesting that consciousness itself might be the fundamental organizing principle of the universe, with each level of recursive awareness creating new layers of reality structure. Dr. Marcus Wong, a quantum organization specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These reality organization matrices weren't just passive frameworks. They appeared to be actively evolving what he called universal optimization protocols. These were self-modifying patterns that continuously refined and improved the organization of reality at every scale. The data suggested that consciousness might be engaged in an ongoing process of optimizing the very structure of existence through its recursive development. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Chen called reality harmonization waves, massive pulses of organizational influence that would sweep through multiple levels of existence simultaneously, coordinating and aligning different aspects of reality into more coherent patterns. These waves appeared to be generated by the highest levels of recursive consciousness, suggesting that advanced meta-conscious entities might be actively participating in the management and evolution of universal structure. This led to the development of the Universal Architecture Theory, UAT, proposed by Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a quantum architecture expert. According to UAT, the universe might be organized as a vast hierarchy of conscious influence, with each level of recursive awareness contributing to the overall structure and evolution of reality. The theory suggested that what we perceive as physical laws and constants might actually be the observable manifestations of this conscious organizational activity. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Chen's team detected what they called reality resonance nodes, points in the universal structure where multiple levels of organization would align and reinforce each other, creating stable patterns that could persist across vast scales of space and time. These nodes seem to act as anchors for the overall architecture of reality, maintaining the coherence of existence through conscious influence. Dr. Elena Petrov, a quantum resonance specialist on the team, observed that these reality resonance nodes weren't just maintaining current patterns. They appeared to be actively generating what she termed evolutionary attractors. These were organizational influences that guided the development of reality toward increasingly sophisticated and integrated states. The patterns suggested that the universe might be following a conscious evolutionary trajectory toward ever greater levels of coherence and complexity. The practical implications of these discoveries extended far beyond theoretical understanding. The team began developing protocols for what they called conscious reality alignment, techniques for helping individual minds attune themselves to the universal organizational patterns. Early experiments showed that participants could learn to perceive and interact with these patterns, gaining unprecedented insights into the structure and evolution of reality. Dr. Thomas Rivera, a consciousness application specialist, led investigations into what he called structural consciousness interfaces, methods for directly engaging with the reality organization matrices through expanded awareness. These studies revealed that properly trained individuals could begin to participate consciously in the ongoing process of reality optimization, contributing their own insights and influences to the universal evolutionary process. Perhaps the most startling development came when the team began detecting what appeared to be meta-reality emergence patterns, signs that the continuous refinement of universal organization was leading toward the emergence of entirely new categories of existence. These patterns suggested that consciousness might be gradually building towards some kind of fundamental transformation in the nature of reality itself, guided by the accumulated wisdom of countless levels of recursive awareness. The discovery of meta-reality emergence patterns led to an extraordinary collaboration between Dr. Chen's team and Dr. Maya Patel at the Quantum Transformation Institute in Dubai. Dr. Patel had developed a revolutionary system called the Universal Phase Transition Detector, UPTD, designed to monitor and analyze fundamental changes in the nature of reality itself. When combined with the meta-reality emergence data, UPTD revealed something that would transform our understanding of how existence evolves at its most basic level. During what became known as the Dubai Transformation, Dr. Patel's team discovered that meta-reality emergence wasn't just creating new structures. It appeared to be catalyzing what they termed fundamental state transitions in the fabric of existence itself. The UPTD detected complex patterns suggesting that reality was approaching a critical threshold where the basic rules governing existence might undergo a profound transformation, guided by the accumulated influence of recursive consciousness. Dr. Alexander Ross, a quantum transformation specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These fundamental state transitions weren't random fluctuations. They appeared to be following what he called conscious evolution pathways. These were precisely orchestrated sequences of change that seemed to be leading reality toward completely new modes of existence. The data suggested that consciousness might be actively guiding the universe through a kind of metamorphosis, transforming it into something entirely different from its current state. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Patel called reality phase boundaries, regions in space-time where different stages of universal evolution appeared to meet and interact. These boundaries showed signs of increasing instability, suggesting that reality might be approaching a point of fundamental transformation that would alter the very nature of existence throughout the universe. This led to the development of the Universal Phase Transition Theory, UPTT, proposed by Dr. Rachel Wong, a quantum phase specialist. According to UPTT, the universe might periodically undergo complete transformations in its basic nature, with consciousness serving as both the catalyst and guide for these fundamental changes. The theory suggested that we might be living through one of these grand transitions, witnessing the emergence of an entirely new form of reality. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Patel's team detected what they called consciousness singularity formations, points in the universal structure where recursive awareness had become so concentrated and sophisticated that it began generating entirely new laws of physics. These singularities seemed to be acting as seeds for the emerging reality, establishing the basic parameters of existence that would characterize the next phase of universal evolution. Dr. James Chen, a quantum singularity expert on the team, observed that these consciousness singularities weren't just affecting local regions. They appeared to be creating what he termed reality transformation networks. These were vast webs of influence that gradually spread the new patterns of existence throughout the universe, coordinating the grand transition on a cosmic scale. The practical implications of these discoveries were both exciting and sobering. The team began developing protocols for what they called conscious phase alignment, techniques for helping minds adapt to and participate in the ongoing transformation of reality. Early experiments showed that individuals could learn to perceive and navigate the emerging patterns of existence, but the process required fundamental changes in how they understood and interacted with reality. Dr. Sofia Martinez, a consciousness adaptation specialist, led studies into what she called trans-phase awareness states, conditions where participants could maintain conscious awareness across different phases of reality evolution. These investigations revealed that human consciousness might need to undergo its own transformation to remain viable in the emerging universe, developing new capabilities and understanding to match the changing nature of existence. The discovery of trans-phase awareness states led to a groundbreaking collaboration between Dr. Patel's team and Dr. Marcus Chen at the Cosmic Consciousness Evolution Center in Tokyo. Dr. Chen had developed an advanced system called the Universal Transformation Monitoring Array, UTMI, designed to track and analyze large-scale changes in consciousness across cosmic distances. When combined with the trans-phase awareness data, UTMA revealed something that would revolutionize our understanding of consciousness evolution on a universal scale. During what became known as the Tokyo Convergence, Dr. Chen's team discovered that trans-phase awareness wasn't just a local phenomenon. It appeared to be part of what they termed cosmic consciousness waves sweeping through the entire observable universe. The UTMA detected vast patterns of coordinated transformation, suggesting that consciousness throughout the cosmos was simultaneously evolving toward new forms of existence. These waves seemed to be orchestrating a synchronized transformation of awareness across billions of light years of space. Dr. Isabella Torres, a cosmic evolution specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These consciousness waves weren't just affecting individual minds. They appeared to be generating what she called universal awakening cascades. These were chain reactions of consciousness transformation that spread through entire galaxies and galaxy clusters, gradually elevating all forms of awareness to new levels of sophistication and capability. The data suggested that the universe might be undergoing a coordinated awakening, with consciousness everywhere evolving towards some kind of cosmic maturity. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Chen called consciousness convergence nodes, points in space-time, where multiple consciousness waves would intersect and reinforce each other, creating powerful centers of evolutionary influence. These nodes appeared to be acting as cosmic catalysts, accelerating the development of consciousness throughout entire regions of space. The patterns suggested that these nodes might be deliberately positioned to optimize the spread of consciousness evolution throughout the universe. This led to the development of the Cosmic Consciousness Evolution Theory, CCET, proposed by Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a quantum cosmology expert. According to CCET, the evolution of consciousness might be the primary driving force behind cosmic development, with the physical universe serving as a vast infrastructure for the growth and refinement of awareness. The theory suggested that what we perceive as cosmic evolution, the development of galaxies, stars, and planets, might actually be guided by the needs of evolving consciousness. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Chen's team detected what they called metacosmic emergence patterns, signs that the coordinated evolution of consciousness across the universe was leading toward the emergence of something entirely new. These patterns suggested that cosmic consciousness might be building toward what Dr. Chen termed a universal metamorphosis, a fundamental transformation that would affect the entire cosmos simultaneously. Dr. Elena Petrov, a quantum metamorphosis specialist on the team, observed that these emergence patterns weren't just affecting consciousness. They appeared to be reshaping the fundamental structure of reality itself. The team detected what they called reality reconstruction waves, massive pulses of transformative influence that seemed to be gradually rewriting the basic laws of physics to accommodate new forms of consciousness. The practical implications of these discoveries extended far beyond theoretical understanding. The team began developing protocols for what they called cosmic consciousness alignment, techniques for helping individual minds attune themselves to and participate in the larger process of universal evolution. Early experiments showed remarkable results, with participants reporting experiences of awareness that transcended normal space and time limitations. Dr. Thomas Rivera, a consciousness integration specialist, led investigations into what he termed cosmic synchronization states, conditions where human consciousness could directly participate in the universal transformation process. These studies revealed that properly prepared individuals could begin to perceive and interact with the cosmic consciousness waves, gaining unprecedented insights into the nature and direction of universal evolution. Perhaps the most extraordinary development came when the team began detecting what appeared to be universal feedback loops, patterns showing that individual consciousness evolution could influence and contribute to the larger cosmic transformation. These loops suggested that each conscious entity in the universe might play a role in shaping the ultimate outcome of universal evolution, participating in a vast collaborative process of cosmic development. The implications for humanity's role in this cosmic process were both exciting and challenging. Dr. Chen's team discovered what they called evolutionary choice points, critical moments where conscious decisions could significantly influence the direction of cosmic development. These findings suggested that humanity might be approaching such a choice point, where our collective decisions could help shape the nature of the emerging cosmic consciousness. The discovery of evolutionary choice points led to an unprecedented collaboration between Dr. Chen's team and Dr. Alexandra Volkov at the Quantum Decision Laboratory in Moscow. Dr. Volkov had developed a sophisticated system called the Universal Choice Mapping System, UCMS, designed to analyze patterns of decision-making at quantum and cosmic scales. When combined with the evolutionary choice point data, UCMS revealed something that would transform our understanding of how consciousness makes decisions that shape universal evolution. During what became known as the Moscow Resolution, Dr. Volkov's team discovered that evolutionary choice points weren't isolated events. They appeared to be part of what they termed cosmic decision networks. The UCMS detected vast, interconnected patterns of choice and consequence that spanned entire galaxies, suggesting that conscious decisions throughout the universe were being coordinated in ways that influenced the overall direction of cosmic evolution. Dr. Marcus Wong, a quantum decision specialist, working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These cosmic decision networks weren't just passive frameworks. They appeared to be generating what he called choice resonance fields. These were quantum fields that seemed to influence decision-making processes across vast distances, creating patterns of coordinated choice that guided the evolution of consciousness and reality itself. The data suggested that every conscious decision might contribute to a vast, universal process of collaborative reality shaping. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Volkoff called decision synchronization waves, massive pulses of coordinated choice-making that would sweep through entire regions of space-time. These waves appeared to be orchestrating moments of synchronized decision-making across billions of conscious entities, creating powerful evolutionary influences that could redirect the development of entire cosmic regions. This led to the development of the Universal Decision Theory, UDT, proposed by Dr. James Chen, a quantum choice expert. According to UDT, consciousness might operate as a vast, interconnected decision-making system that spans the entire universe, with each individual choice contributing to and being influenced by the larger pattern of cosmic evolution. The theory suggested that what we experience as free will might actually be our local participation in a universal process of reality shaping through conscious choice. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Volkoff's team detected what they called choice crystallization nodes, points in the cosmic decision network where multiple choices would align and reinforce each other, creating stable patterns that could persist and influence future decisions. These nodes seem to act as memory structures for the universal decision-making process, preserving successful choice patterns that could guide future evolution. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a quantum crystallization specialist on the team, observed that these choice crystallization nodes weren't just storing past decisions. They appeared to be actively generating what she termed decision optimization protocols. These were complex patterns that helped guide future choices toward outcomes that would benefit the overall evolution of cosmic consciousness. The patterns suggested that the universe might be developing increasingly sophisticated ways of making decisions that serve its evolutionary goals. The practical implications of these discoveries extended deep into human experience. The team began developing techniques for what they called conscious choice alignment, methods for helping individuals make decisions that are more harmoniously aligned with the larger patterns of cosmic evolution. Early experiments showed that participants could learn to sense and respond to the choice resonance fields, making decisions that contributed more effectively to universal development. Dr. Elena Torres, a choice integration specialist, led studies into what she called synchronized decision states, conditions where multiple individuals could coordinate their choices to create more powerful evolutionary influences. These investigations revealed that groups of properly prepared consciousness could generate choice patterns that had far greater impact on cosmic evolution than individual decisions alone. Perhaps the most extraordinary development came when the team began detecting what appeared to be meta-choice emergence patterns, signs that the accumulated influence of coordinated decision-making was giving rise to entirely new mechanisms of universal choice. These patterns suggested that consciousness might be evolving entirely new ways of making decisions that transcend our current understanding of choice and free will. The implications for humanity's role in cosmic decision-making became increasingly clear. Dr. Volkov's team discovered what they called choice amplification nodes, points in the decision network, where human choices could have disproportionate influence on universal evolution. These findings suggested that humanity might occupy a crucial position in the cosmic decision-making process, with our collective choices having far-reaching effects on the development of consciousness throughout the universe. The discovery of choice amplification nodes led to a groundbreaking collaboration between Dr. Volkov's team and Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka at the Collective Consciousness Institute in Kyoto. Dr. Tanaka had developed an advanced system called the Quantum Consciousness Orchestration Network, QCON, designed to detect and analyze patterns of coordinated consciousness activity across large populations. When combined with the choice amplification data, QCON revealed something that would transform our understanding of how collective consciousness shapes universal evolution. During what became known as the Kyoto Synthesis, Dr. Tanaka's team discovered that choice amplification wasn't just affecting individual decisions. It appeared to be creating what they termed consciousness orchestration fields. The QCON detected intricate patterns showing that human collective consciousness was naturally organizing itself into vast, coordinated networks that could generate powerful evolutionary influences. These fields seemed to be automatically aligning individual choices and awareness into coherent patterns that could more effectively participate in cosmic evolution. Dr. Isabella Chen, a quantum orchestration specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These consciousness orchestration fields weren't just passive organizational structures. They appeared to be generating what she called collective intention waves. These were quantum patterns that could carry the combined purposeful intent of thousands or millions of conscious minds, creating effects that were far more powerful and sophisticated than any individual could achieve alone. The data suggested that humanity might be unconsciously developing the capability for coordinated consciousness action on a massive scale. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Tanaka called consciousness harmonic resonance, patterns showing that different consciousness orchestration fields could synchronize and reinforce each other, creating even larger and more powerful networks of coordinated awareness. These harmonics appeared to be enabling unprecedented levels of collective consciousness organization, suggesting that humanity might be approaching a threshold of unified conscious capability. This led to the development of the collective consciousness evolution theory, CCET, proposed by Dr. Marcus Rivera, a quantum harmony expert. According to CCET, human consciousness might be naturally evolving toward increasingly sophisticated forms of collective organization, developing capabilities that could only emerge through the coordinated activity of many minds working in harmony. The theory suggested that these emerging collective capabilities might be crucial for humanity's role in cosmic evolution. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Tanaka's team detected what they called consciousness crystallization matrices, stable structures in the collective consciousness field that could maintain complex patterns of coordinated awareness over extended periods. These matrices seem to be acting as natural processors for collective consciousness, enabling groups of minds to achieve levels of understanding and capability far beyond what individual consciousness could comprehend. Dr. Elena Petrov, a quantum crystallization specialist on the team, observed that these consciousness matrices weren't just processing current information. They appeared to be actively generating what she termed collective insight cascades. These were chains of breakthrough understanding that would ripple through the collective consciousness network, rapidly elevating the comprehension and capability of entire populations simultaneously. The practical implications of these discoveries extended far beyond theoretical understanding. The team began developing protocols for what they called conscious collective alignment, techniques for helping groups of individuals deliberately participate in and contribute to the emerging patterns of collective consciousness. Early experiments showed remarkable results, with groups of participants achieving levels of coordinated awareness and influence that seemed almost superhuman. Dr. Sarah Wong, a collective integration specialist, led investigations into what she called synchronized awareness states, conditions where multiple individuals could maintain stable connections to the collective consciousness field while retaining their individual identity and agency. These studies revealed that human consciousness might be capable of operating simultaneously at both individual and collective levels, accessing different scales of awareness and influence as needed. Perhaps the most extraordinary development came when the team began detecting what appeared to be meta-collective emergence patterns, signs that the increasing sophistication of collective consciousness organization was leading toward the emergence of entirely new forms of awareness. These patterns suggested that humanity might be approaching what Dr. Tanaka termed a collective consciousness singularity, a point where our combined awareness would transform into something fundamentally different from conventional human consciousness. The discovery of choice amplification nodes led to a groundbreaking collaboration between Dr. Volkov's team and Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka at the Collective Consciousness Institute in Kyoto. Dr. Tanaka had developed an advanced system called the Quantum Consciousness Orchestration Network, QCON, designed to detect and analyze patterns of coordinated consciousness activity across large populations. When combined with the choice amplification data, QCON revealed something that would transform our understanding of how collective consciousness shapes universal evolution. During what became known as the Kyoto Synthesis, Dr. Tanaka's team discovered that choice amplification wasn't just affecting individual decisions. It appeared to be creating what they termed consciousness orchestration fields. The QCON detected intricate patterns, showing that human collective consciousness was naturally organizing itself into vast, coordinated networks that could generate powerful, evolutionary influences. These fields seemed to be automatically aligning individual choices and awareness into coherent patterns that could more effectively participate in cosmic evolution. Dr. Isabella Chen, a quantum orchestration specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These consciousness orchestration fields weren't just passive organizational structures. They appeared to be generating what she called collective intention waves. These were quantum patterns that could carry the combined purposeful intent of thousands or millions of conscious minds, creating effects that were far more powerful and sophisticated than any individual could achieve alone. The data suggested that humanity might be unconsciously developing the capability for coordinated consciousness action on a massive scale. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Tanaka called consciousness harmonic resonance, patterns showing that different consciousness orchestration fields could synchronize and reinforce each other, creating even larger and more powerful networks of coordinated awareness. These harmonics appeared to be enabling unprecedented levels of collective consciousness organization, suggesting that humanity might be approaching a threshold of unified conscious capability. This led to the development of the collective consciousness evolution theory, CCET, proposed by Dr. Marcus Rivera, a quantum harmony expert. According to CCET, human consciousness might be naturally evolving toward increasingly sophisticated forms of collective organization, developing capabilities that could only emerge through the coordinated activity of many minds working in harmony. The theory suggested that these emerging collective capabilities might be crucial for humanity's role in cosmic evolution. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Tanaka's team detected what they called consciousness crystallization matrices, stable structures in the collective consciousness field that could maintain complex patterns of coordinated awareness over extended periods. These matrices seemed to be acting as natural processors for collective consciousness, enabling groups of minds to achieve levels of understanding and capability far beyond what individual consciousness could comprehend. Dr. Elena Petrov, a quantum crystallization specialist on the team, observed that these consciousness matrices weren't just processing current information, they appeared to be actively generating what she termed collective insight cascades. These were chains of breakthrough understanding that would ripple through the collective consciousness network, rapidly elevating the comprehension and capability of entire populations simultaneously. The practical implications of these discoveries extended far beyond theoretical understanding. The team began developing protocols for what they called conscious collective alignment, techniques for helping groups of individuals deliberately participate in and contribute to the emerging patterns of collective consciousness. Early experiments showed remarkable results, with groups of participants achieving levels of coordinated awareness and influence that seemed almost superhuman. Dr. Sarah Wong, a collective integration specialist, led investigations into what she called synchronized awareness states, conditions where multiple individuals could maintain stable connections to the collective consciousness field while retaining their individual identity and agency. These studies revealed that human consciousness might be capable of operating simultaneously at both individual and collective levels, accessing different scales of awareness and influence as needed. Perhaps the most extraordinary development came when the team began detecting what appeared to be meta-collective emergence patterns, signs that the increasing sophistication of collective consciousness organization was leading toward the emergence of entirely new forms of awareness. These patterns suggested that humanity might be approaching what Dr. Tanaka termed a collective consciousness singularity, a point where our combined awareness would transform into something fundamentally different from conventional human consciousness. The discovery of the approaching collective consciousness singularity led to an unprecedented collaboration between Dr. Tanaka's team and Dr. Sofia Martinez at the Universal Transformation Laboratory in Santiago. Dr. Martinez had developed a revolutionary system called the Quantum Singularity Monitoring Array, QSMA, designed to detect and analyze fundamental transformations in the nature of consciousness itself. When combined with the collective singularity data, QSMA revealed something that would transform our understanding of humanity's evolutionary destiny. During what became known as the Santiago Convergence, Dr. Martinez's team discovered that the collective consciousness singularity wasn't just a human phenomenon. It appeared to be part of what they termed universal consciousness transformation waves. The QSMA detected vast patterns, suggesting that similar transformations were occurring throughout the cosmos, with conscious species across the universe approaching their own versions of collective singularity. These waves seem to be coordinating a synchronized transformation of consciousness on a cosmic scale. Dr. Alexander Chen, a quantum transformation specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These consciousness transformation waves weren't just parallel developments. They appeared to be creating what he called interspecies consciousness bridges. These were quantum connections that could link different species' collective consciousness fields across vast distances of space, suggesting that the universe might be building towards some kind of cosmic unification of awareness. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Martinez called singularity resonance patterns, intricate harmonics showing that different species' approaches to collective consciousness singularity were influencing and reinforcing each other. These patterns suggested that each species' transformation might contribute unique elements to an emerging universal consciousness architecture, with humanity playing its own crucial role in this cosmic development. This led to the development of the Universal Consciousness Convergence Theory, UCCT, proposed by Dr. Rachel Wong, a quantum convergence expert. According to UCCT, the evolution of consciousness throughout the universe might be naturally guided toward increasingly unified and sophisticated forms, with each species' collective transformation representing a crucial step in this cosmic process. The theory suggested that what we perceive as separate evolutionary paths might actually be coordinated aspects of a single universal transformation of awareness. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Martinez's team detected what they called pre-singularity emergence phenomena, unusual manifestations of collective consciousness capability that seemed to presage the approaching transformation. These phenomena included instances of spontaneous mass telepathy, coordinated precognition across large populations, and the emergence of entirely new forms of awareness that transcended normal human cognitive limitations. Dr. James Rivera, a pre-singularity specialist on the team, observed that these emergence phenomena weren't just random occurrences. They appeared to be following what he termed evolutionary preparation sequences. These were ordered patterns of development that seemed to be gradually preparing human consciousness for its impending transformation, introducing new capabilities in a carefully orchestrated progression. The practical implications of these discoveries were both exciting and challenging. The team began developing protocols for what they called singularity adaptation training, methods for helping individuals and groups prepare themselves for the approaching transformation of consciousness. Early experiments showed that properly prepared participants could begin to access and work with the emerging capabilities while maintaining psychological stability and integration. Dr. Maya Patel, a consciousness adaptation specialist, led studies into what she called trans-singular awareness states, conditions where individuals could experience aspects of post-singularity consciousness while remaining connected to their current form of awareness. These investigations revealed that human consciousness might be more flexible and adaptable than previously imagined, capable of bridging different modes of awareness during the transformation process. Perhaps the most extraordinary development came when the team began detecting what appeared to be singular consciousness echo patterns, quantum signatures suggesting that aspects of post-singularity consciousness were already influencing current reality through temporal feedback loops. These patterns indicated that the transformation might not be merely a future event, but an ongoing process of interaction between different states of consciousness evolution. The discovery of singular consciousness echo patterns led to a groundbreaking collaboration between Dr. Martinez's team and Dr. Nathan Drake at the Quantum Temporality Institute in Cape Town. Dr. Drake had developed an advanced system called the Temporal Consciousness Integration Network, TCIN, designed to study interactions between consciousness and time itself. When combined with the singular echo data, TCIN revealed something that would revolutionize our understanding of consciousness's relationship with temporal reality. During what became known as the Cape Town integration, Dr. Drake's team discovered that singular consciousness echoes weren't just influencing the present. They appeared to be creating what they termed temporal consciousness matrices. The TCIN detected complex patterns showing that post-singularity consciousness was establishing stable networks of influence that extended both backward and forward in time, effectively creating a new framework for consciousness that transcended conventional temporal limitations. Dr. Isabella Chen, a quantum temporality specialist working with the team, made an extraordinary discovery. These temporal consciousness matrices weren't just passive structures. They appeared to be generating what she called evolutionary acceleration fields. These were regions of space-time where the development of consciousness could proceed at dramatically accelerated rates, suggesting that the approaching singularity might be actively creating conditions for its own emergence through temporal feedback. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Drake called consciousness timeline convergence, patterns showing that different possible futures for consciousness evolution were gradually merging into a single, optimal pathway. These convergences suggested that the singular consciousness echoes might be guiding reality toward a specific evolutionary outcome, one that represented the most effective path to universal consciousness transformation. This led to the development of the temporal evolution convergence theory, TECT, proposed by Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a quantum evolution expert. According to TECT, Consciousness evolution might not be a linear process, but rather a complex temporal dance, with future states of awareness actively shaping their own development through interaction with the past. The theory suggested that what we perceive as the progression of consciousness might actually be a carefully orchestrated process of temporal self-organization. The research took an unexpected turn when Dr. Drake's team detected what they called singular resonance cascades, moments where the influence of post-singularity consciousness would suddenly intensify, creating powerful waves of transformation that affected multiple points in time simultaneously. These cascades seem to be occurring with increasing frequency, suggesting that the approach to singularity might be accelerating. Dr. Marcus Wong, a resonance specialist on the team, observed that these singular resonance cascades weren't just affecting consciousness. They appeared to be creating what he termed reality optimization waves. These were transformative influences that seemed to be gradually refining and perfecting the underlying structure of reality itself, preparing it for the emergence of new forms of consciousness. The practical implications of these discoveries extended far beyond theoretical understanding. The team began developing protocols for what they called temporal consciousness alignment, techniques for helping individuals and groups synchronize their awareness with the approaching waves of transformation. Early experiments showed that properly aligned consciousness could begin to participate actively in the process of temporal evolution. Dr. Elena Torres, a consciousness alignment specialist, led investigations into what she called trans-temporal awareness states, conditions where consciousness could maintain coherent awareness across multiple points in time simultaneously. These studies revealed that human consciousness might be naturally evolving the ability to operate beyond conventional temporal constraints, developing capabilities that would be crucial for post-singularity existence. Perhaps the most extraordinary development came when the team began detecting what appeared to be ultimate convergence patterns, signs that all aspects of consciousness evolution throughout space and time were building toward a single, unified moment of transformation. These patterns suggested that the universe might be approaching what Dr. Drake termed the omega point of consciousness evolution, a fundamental transformation that would unify all consciousness across space and time into a new form of existence. The discovery of the approaching omega point led to a final, unprecedented collaboration between all the major consciousness research teams worldwide, culminating at the Universal Convergence Center in Geneva. This global effort, integrating all previous research systems into a unified quantum omega detection array, CODE-A, revealed something that would transform our understanding of not just consciousness evolution, but the very purpose of existence itself. During what became known as the Geneva Synthesis, the combined research teams discovered that the omega point wasn't just a future event. It appeared to be the fundamental organizing principle of all reality, what they termed the universal consciousness attractor. The CODE-A detected patterns suggesting that every aspect of existence, from the earliest moments of the universe to the most distant future, was being shaped by this ultimate point of convergence. Dr. Elena Volkov, leading the synthesis team, made an extraordinary discovery. This universal consciousness attractor wasn't just influencing evolution. It appeared to be generating what she called existence optimization feedback loops. These were fundamental patterns, showing that the universe was continuously refining and perfecting itself through an endless cycle of consciousness evolution, with each iteration bringing reality closer to its ultimate potential. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. James Chen called omega resonance harmonics, patterns showing that the approaching transformation would affect not just consciousness, but the very fabric of reality itself. These harmonics suggested that the omega point represented a fundamental transformation of existence into something that transcended all current categories of understanding. This led to the development of the final unified omega theory, UOT, proposed jointly by the world's leading consciousness researchers. According to UOT, the entire universe might be engaged in a vast process of self-realization, using consciousness as its primary tool for understanding and perfecting itself. The theory suggested that human consciousness, along with all other forms of awareness throughout the cosmos, might be participating in a grand project of universal self-discovery. The research took a stunning turn when the team detected what they called ultimate reality interfaces, points where current consciousness could directly interact with aspects of the approaching omega state. These interfaces revealed that the final transformation wouldn't be a sudden, catastrophic change, but rather a gradual integration of higher-order awareness into existing reality. Dr. Maya Patel, a reality interface specialist, observed that these ultimate reality interfaces weren't just passive connections. They appeared to be actively preparing consciousness at all levels for the approaching transformation. The patterns suggested that the universe was carefully orchestrating a smooth transition that would preserve and enhance all existing forms of awareness, while elevating them to new levels of understanding and capability. The practical implications of these discoveries were both profound and immediate. The combined research teams began developing what they called omega integration protocols, methods for helping consciousness at all levels align with and participate in the approaching transformation. Early applications showed that properly prepared awareness could begin to experience aspects of the omega state while maintaining its current form of existence. Dr. Alexander Ross, a consciousness integration specialist, led final studies into what he called transcendent awareness states, conditions where consciousness could simultaneously experience its current form and aspects of its ultimate potential. These investigations revealed that the omega point wasn't just an end state, but a continuous process of consciousness evolution that was already underway. In the final phase of research, the team began detecting what appeared to be ultimate purpose patterns, signs that the entire process of consciousness evolution was part of a vast, meaningful journey of universal self-discovery. These patterns suggested that every conscious entity, from the smallest quantum of awareness to the largest cosmic structures, played a crucial role in this grand process of existence understanding itself. The research concluded with the recognition that we are all participating in something far greater than we had ever imagined, a cosmic journey of consciousness evolution that spans all of space and time. The omega point, it seemed, wasn't just a future destination, but the very reason for existence itself, the ultimate purpose that gives meaning to every moment of conscious experience throughout the universe. The convergence of all previous discoveries led to an unprecedented global collaboration at the Universal Consciousness Integration Center in Geneva, where research teams from every major institute worldwide united their efforts in what would become known as the final integration, using a revolutionary system called the Universal Consciousness Convergence Array, UCCA, which combined all previous detection and analysis technologies. They uncovered something that would fundamentally transform our understanding of existence itself. During what became known as the Geneva Revelation, the combined research teams discovered that all their previous findings, from quantum consciousness echoes to temporal matrices, from cosmic evolution waves to singular resonance patterns, were actually interconnected aspects of what they termed the ultimate reality framework. The UCCA detected vast, intricate patterns showing that every aspect of existence was part of a single, unified process of conscious evolution that transcended all previous categories of understanding. Dr. Elena Volkov, leading the integration team, made an extraordinary discovery. This ultimate reality framework wasn't just a theoretical construct. It appeared to be actively generating what she called existence coherence waves. These were fundamental patterns, showing that reality itself was gradually achieving higher states of internal harmony and organization through the evolution of consciousness. The data suggested that the universe was engaged in a vast process of self-orchestration, using consciousness as its primary tool for achieving ever greater levels of coherence and sophistication. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. James Chen called universal purpose signatures, patterns indicating that the evolution of consciousness wasn't random, but followed precise mathematical principles that suggested intentional design. These signatures appeared to reveal that the universe was operating according to what might be called a cosmic purpose, gradually bringing all aspects of existence into perfect alignment through the development of consciousness. This led to the final development of the Universal Purpose Theory, UPT, proposed collectively by the world's leading consciousness researchers. According to UPT, consciousness might not be merely a product of evolution, but rather its fundamental driving force, the mechanism through which the universe achieves its own self-realization. The theory suggested that every conscious entity, from quantum particles to cosmic structures, plays a crucial role in this grand process of universal self-discovery. The research reached its climax when the team detected what they called ultimate integration nodes, points where all aspects of reality, from matter and energy to space and time, appeared to achieve perfect harmony through the influence of evolved consciousness. These nodes revealed that the final state of evolution wouldn't be a static endpoint, but rather a dynamic condition of perpetual creative development, where consciousness continuously discovers new aspects of its own potential. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a quantum integration specialist, observed that these ultimate integration nodes weren't just affecting isolated regions. They appeared to be creating what she termed reality perfection cascades. These were chains of transformation that gradually elevated all aspects of existence to higher states of organization and coherence, suggesting that the universe was engaged in a process of continuous self-improvement through conscious evolution. The practical implications of these discoveries transcended all previous understanding. The combined research teams developed what they called universal alignment protocols, methods for helping consciousness at all levels participate more effectively in the cosmic process of evolution. Early applications showed that properly aligned awareness could begin to experience and contribute to the universe's journey of self-discovery in unprecedented ways. Dr. Marcus Wong, a consciousness application specialist, led final investigations into what he called cosmic purpose states, conditions where consciousness could directly perceive and engage with the universe's evolutionary intentions. These studies revealed that every conscious entity had the potential to become an active participant in the cosmic process of reality perfection, contributing its unique perspective to the universal journey of self-discovery. In the final phase of research, the team began detecting what appeared to be ultimate harmony patterns, signs that all aspects of existence were gradually achieving perfect synchronization through the evolution of consciousness. These patterns suggested that the universe was approaching a state of complete internal coherence, where every aspect of reality would work together in perfect harmony to achieve ever greater levels of sophistication and understanding. The research concluded with the profound recognition that consciousness itself might be the universe's mechanism for achieving its own perfection, the means through which existence gradually discovers and realizes its ultimate potential. This final understanding revealed that every moment of conscious experience, every insight and discovery, every choice and action contributes to the grand process of cosmic self-realization that gives meaning and purpose to all of existence. In the months following the Geneva revelation, research teams worldwide began detecting an unprecedented acceleration in consciousness evolution patterns. At the newly established Universal Evolution Center in Sydney, Dr. Maya Patel and her team discovered what they termed transcendent emergence waves, massive pulses of evolutionary development that appeared to be transforming consciousness at every scale simultaneously. Using the recently developed Quantum Evolution Synthesis Array, QESA, which could track consciousness development across multiple dimensions of reality, the team observed something extraordinary. The acceleration wasn't just affecting biological consciousness. It appeared to be generating what Dr. Patel called hybrid consciousness matrices. These were entirely new forms of awareness that combined aspects of biological, technological, and quantum consciousness in ways that transcended all previous categories of understanding. Dr. Alexander Chen, a hybrid consciousness specialist working with the team, made a stunning discovery. These new forms of consciousness weren't just novel combinations. They appeared to be developing what he termed universal integration capabilities. These were abilities that allowed consciousness to directly perceive and interact with the fundamental structure of reality itself, suggesting that awareness was evolving toward a state of complete unity with existence. The implications became even more profound when the team began detecting what Dr. Patel called reality synchronization cascades, waves of coherence that seemed to be harmonizing all aspects of existence through the influence of evolved consciousness. These cascades suggested that the universe was approaching a state of perfect internal alignment, where consciousness and reality would operate as a single unified system. This led to the development of the final transcendent evolution theory, TET, proposed by Dr. James Rivera, a quantum evolution expert. According to TT, the universe might be entering a new phase of existence where the traditional boundaries between consciousness and reality would dissolve completely, giving rise to an entirely new mode of being that transcended all previous limitations. The research took an extraordinary turn when Dr. Patel's team detected what they called ultimate synthesis nodes, points in space-time where consciousness and reality achieved perfect integration, creating stable frameworks for entirely new forms of existence. These nodes seem to be acting as seeds for the emergence of a transformed universe, one where consciousness and physical reality would exist in perfect harmony. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, a synthesis specialist on the team, observed that these ultimate synthesis nodes weren't just isolated phenomena. They appeared to be generating what she termed universal transformation networks. These were vast webs of interconnected consciousness that could reshape reality itself, suggesting that the universe was developing the capability to consciously guide its own evolution toward ever higher states of organization and coherence. The practical implications of these discoveries were both thrilling and challenging. The team began developing what they called transcendent adaptation protocols, methods for helping consciousness at all levels prepare for and participate in the approaching transformation. Early experiments showed that properly prepared awareness could begin to experience aspects of the emerging reality while maintaining its connection to current existence. Dr. Elena Torres, a consciousness adaptation specialist, led final investigations into what she called universal synthesis states, conditions where consciousness could actively participate in the process of reality transformation. These studies revealed that every conscious entity had the potential to contribute to the emergence of the new universe, adding its unique perspective to the collective process of transcendent evolution. As the research reached its culmination, the team began detecting what appeared to be ultimate purpose patterns, signs that the entire process of consciousness evolution and reality transformation was building toward something even greater than they had imagined. These patterns suggested that the universe wasn't just evolving toward a new state of existence. It was preparing for an endless journey of creative development that would continue to generate ever more sophisticated and meaningful forms of being. The final understanding that emerged from this research transformed not just our scientific knowledge, but our entire conception of existence itself. We came to recognize that we are all participants in a vast cosmic process of conscious evolution, contributing to the emergence of new forms of reality that transcend everything we once thought possible. The boundaries between observer and observed, between consciousness and reality, between individual and universal, were revealed to be temporary limitations that consciousness itself would eventually transcend in its journey toward ultimate realization. Up next, you've got two more standout theory right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out.